I suppose it's not a big deal, but I'm seeing Ben, but his name is showing as Daniel Gens.
Don't worry about it. People were having all sorts of problems getting in between the attendee link and the panelist link.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. So
Yes.
okay, it seems to me we're ready to go, but I just want to hear from Maren that we can go.
Where'd she go?
Okay. Paul apparently was joining us earlier, but was having technical problems, so couldn't stay. So, I mean, as it's 1 minute, 2 minutes past one, and it's a very long play, I do think.
Stephen?
Oh, yes, Maren.
Stephen, you are now live. You are recording and you are being streamed live to YouTube. So welcome to the Instant Shakespeare reading. And Stephen is...
Somebody's got sound coming.
Stephen is on right now, I hope.
Yes, Stephen is here.
Stephen?
Oh, yes, Maren.
Stephen, you are now live.
Somebody is recording us, I think.
For some reason, it's like doubling up on me. I don't know what it's doing.
Okay, well, listen, why don't you...
Everybody needs to mute themselves.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think at this point we should begin. So at this point, so if everybody except for Paula could switch themselves off, as everybody is here. And I think I would like to say welcome to this afternoon's reading of Troylus and Cressida, which is my favorite play of all time. And I never get tired of saying that. So I will say goodbye to you all now and just want to see whatever names you have up for yourselves. We shall begin, and we shall be taking an intermission a couple of hours from now, but when we get to it. Okay, I will not be reading any stage directions. We will not be reading any scene change, the changes of scene or act. Just go straight through. So, ladies and gentlemen, have an enjoyable afternoon, and mute yourselves, please. Switch off your cameras unless you are Paula. And Paula, when you're ready, please begin.
In Troy, there lies the scene. From isles of Greece, the princes, Augulus, their high blood chafed, have to the port of Athens sent their ships fraught with the ministers and instruments of cruel war. 69 that wore their cronets regal from the Athenian bay put forth toward Phrygia, and their vow is made to ransack Troy, within whose strong immures the ravished Helen, Menelaus' queen, with wanton Paris sleeps. And that's the quarrel. To Tenedos they come, and the deep-drawing bark do there disgorge their warlike fraughtage. Now on Dardan plains, the fresh and yet unbruised Greeks do pitch their brave pavilions. Priam's six-gated city, Dardan and Timbria, Helios, Kitros, Troyan and Antononidus, with massy staples and corresponsive and fulfilling bolts, stir up the sons of Troy. Now, expectation tickling skittish spirits, on one and other side, Troyan and Greek, sets all on hazard. And hither am I come, a prologue, armed, but not in confidence of author's pen or actor's voice, but suited in like conditions as our argument, to tell you, fair beholders, that our play leaps o'er the vaunt and firstlings of those broils, beginning in the middle, starting thence, away to what may be digested in a play. Like or find fault, do as your pleasures are. Now, good or bad, 'tis but the chance of war.
Call here my varlet, I'll unarm again. Why should I war without the walls of Troy, that find such cruel battle here within? Each Troyan that is master of his heart, let him to the field. Troylus, alas, hath none.
Will this gear ne'er be mended?
The Greeks are strong and skillful to their strength, fierce to their skill, and to their fierceness valiant. But I am weaker than a woman's tear, tamer than sleep, fonder than ignorance, less valiant than the virgin in the night, and skillless as unpracticed infancy.
Well, I have told you enough of this. For my part, I'll not meddle, nor make no farther. He that will have a cake out of the wheat must needs tarry the grinding.
Have I not tarried?
Aye, the grinding, but you must tarry the bolting.
Have I not tarried?
Aye, the bolting, but you must tarry the leavening.
Still have I tarried.
Aye, to the leavening, but here's yet to the word hereafter. The kneading, the making of the cake, the heating of the oven, and the baking. Nay, you must stay the cooling too, or you may chance to burn your lips.
Oh, Patience herself, whatever goddess ere she may be, doth lesser blenched sufferance than I do. At Priam's royal table do I sit, and when fair Cressida comes into my thoughts, so traitor, when she comes, when is she thence?
Well, she looked yesternight fairer than ever I saw, or any woman else.
I was about to tell thee, when my heart as wedged with a sigh would rive in twain, lest Hector or my father should perceive me, I have, as when the sun doth light the storm, buried this sigh in wrinkle of a smile. But sorrow that is couched in seeming gladness is like that mirth fate turns to sudden sadness.
And her hair were not somewhat darker than Helen's.
Oh,
Go to. There were no more comparisons between the women. For my part, she is my kinswoman. I would not, as they term it, praise it, but I would somebody had heard her talk yesterday as I did. I will not dispraise your sister Cassandra's wit, but...
Oh, Pandarus, I tell thee, Pandarus, when I do tell thee, my hopes lie drowned. Reply not in how many fathoms deep they lie indrenched. I tell thee, I am mad in Cressida's love. Thou answerest, she is fair, pourest in the open ulcer of my heart, her eyes, her hair, her cheek, her gait, her voice. Handless in thy discourse, oh, that her hand, in whose comparison all whites are ink, writing their own reproach, to whose soft seizure the signet's down is harsh, and spirit of sense hard as the palm of plowman. This thou tellest me, as true thou tellest me, when I say I love her. But saying thus, instead of oil and balm, thou layest in every gash that love hath given me the knife that made it.
I speak no more than truth.
Oh, thou dost not speak so much.
Faith, I'll not meddle in it. Let her be as she is. If she be fair, 'tis the better for her. If she be not, she has the men's in her own hands.
Oh, good Pandarus, how now Pandarus?
I have had my labor for my travel. Ill thought on of her, ill thought on of you. Gone between and between, but small thanks for my labor.
Oh, what? Art thou angry, Pandarus? What? With me?
Because she is kin to me, and therefore she's not so fair as Helen, and she were not kin to me, she would be as fair on Friday as Helen is on Sunday. But what care I? I care not, and she were a blackamoor. 'Tis all one to me.
She's not fair.
I do not care whether you do or no. She's a fool to stay behind her father. Let her to the Greeks.
Oh.
And so I'll tell her next time I see her. For my part, I'll not meddle, nor make no more in the matter.
Oh, Pandarus!
Bye.
Sweet Pandarus! Oh.
Oh, pray you, Dory, speak no more to me. I will leave all as I found it, and there's an end.
Oh, peace! Oh, you ungracious clamors, peace, rude sounds. Fools on both sides. Helen must needs be fair, when with your blood you daily paint her thus. I cannot fight upon this argument. It is too starved a subject for my sword. But Pandarus, oh gods, how do you plague me? I cannot come to Cressida, but by Pandar, and he's as tetchy to be wooed to woo, as she is stubborn chaste against all suit. Tell me, Apollo, for thy Daphne's love, what Cressida is, what Pandar, and what we. Her bed is India, there she lies, a pearl. Between our Ilium and where she resides, let it be called the wild and wandering flood, outself the merchant, and this sailing pander, our doubtful hope, our convoy, and our bark.
How now, Prince Troylus? Wherefore not afield?
Oh, because not there. This woman's answer sorts, for womanish it is to be from thence. What news, Aeneas, from the field today?
That Paris is returned home. Is returned home and hurt.
Well, by whom, Aeneas?
Troylus by Menelaus.
Let Paris bleed. 'Tis but a scar to scorn. Paris is gored with Menelaus's horn.
Hark, what good sport is out of town today?
So, better at home, if would I might were may. But to the sport abroad, are you bound thither?
In all swift haste.
Come, go we then together.
Who were those went by? Alexander?
Queen Hecuba and Helen.
And whither go they?
Up to the eastern tower, whose height commands as subject all the vale to see the battle. Hector, whose patience is as a virtue fixed, today was moved. He chides Andromache and struck his armourer, and like as there were husbandry in war, before the sun rose he was in harness light, and to the field goes he, where every flower did as a prophet weep what it foresaw in Hector's wrath.
What was his cause of anger?
The noise goes this. There is amongst the Greeks a lord of Trojan blood, nephew to Hector. They call him Ajax.
Good, and what of him?
Well, they say he is a very man per se, and stands alone.
So do all men, unless they are drunk, sick, or have no legs.
This man, lady, hath robbed many beasts of their particular editions. He is as valiant as a lion, churlish as the bear, slow as the elephant. A man to whom nature hath so crowded humours that his valour is crushed into folly, his folly sourced with discretion. There is no man hath a virtue that he hath not a glimpse of, nor any man an attaint, but he carries some stain of it. He is melancholy without cause, and merry against the hair. He hath the joint of everything, but everything so out of joint that he is gouty, Braiacus, many hands and no use, or purblinded Argus, all eyes and no sight.
But how should this man that makes me smile make Hector angry?
They say he yesterday coped Hector in the battle and struck him down. The disdain and shame whereof hath ever since kept Hector fasting and waking.
Who comes here?
Madam, your uncle Pandarus.
Hector's a gallant man.
As may be in the world, lady.
What's that? What's that?
Good morrow, Uncle Pandarus.
Good morrow, cousin Cressida. What do you talk of? Good morrow, Alexander. How do you, cousin? And when were you at Ilium?
This morning, Uncle.
What were you talking of when I came? Was Hector armed and gone ere you came to Ilium? Helen was up, was she?
Hector was gone, but Helen was not up.
Even so, Hector was stirring early.
That we were talking of, and of his anger.
Was he angry?
So he says here.
True, he was so. I know the cause, too. He'll lay about him today, I can tell them that, and there's Troylus will not come far behind him. Let them take heed of Troylus. I can tell them that, too.
What, is he angry too?
Troylus? Troylus is the better man of the two.
Oh, Jupiter, there's no comparison.
Not between Troylus and Hector. Do you know a man if you see him?
I, if I ever saw him before and knew him.
Well, I say Troylus is Troylus.
Then you say as I say, for I am sure he is not Hector.
No, not Hector is not Troylus in some degrees.
'Tis just, to each of them he is himself.
Himself? Alas, poor Troylus, I would he were.
So he is.
Condition I had gone barefoot to India.
He is not Hector.
Himself? No, he's not himself. Would he were himself. Well, the gods are above. Time must friend or end. Well, Troylus, well, I would my heart were in her body. No, no, Hector is not a better man than Troylus.
Excuse me.
He's elder.
Pardon me? Pardon me?
The others not come to it. You shall tell me another tale when the others come to it. Hector shall not have his will this year.
He shall not need it if he have his own.
Nor his qualities.
No matter.
Nor his beauty.
It would not become him. His own's better.
You have no judgment, niece. Helen herself swore the other day that Troylus for a brown favor, for so 'tis I must confess, not brown neither.
No, but brown.
Faith to say truth, brown and not brown.
To say the truth, true and not true.
She praised his complexion above Paris.
Why, Paris hath colour enough.
No, he has.
Then Troilus should have too much, if she praised him above. His complexion is higher than his, he having colour enough, and the other higher is too flaming a praise for a good complexion. I'd as lief as Helen's golden tongue had commended Troilus for a copper nose.
I swear to you, I think Helen loves him better than Paris.
And she's a merry Greek indeed.
Hey, I'm sure she does. And she came to him the other day, into the compassed window, and he has not passed 3 or 4 hairs on his chin.
Indeed, a tapster's arithmetic may soon bring his particulars therein to a total.
He is very young, and yet will he within 3 pound lift as much as his brother Hector.
Is so young a man and so old a lifter?
But to prove to you that Helen loves him, she came and put me, her white hand, to his cloven chin.
Juno have mercy, how came it cloven?
Why, dimpled. I think his smiling becomes him better than any man in all Phrygia.
Oh, he smiles valiantly.
Does he not?
Oh, yes, and 'twere a cloud in autumn.
Why, go to then, but to prove to you that Helen loves Troylus.
Troilus will stand to thee, proof, if you'll prove it so.
Troylus? He esteems her no more than I esteem an addle egg.
If you love an addle egg as well as you love an idle head, you would eat chickens in the shell.
I cannot choose but laugh to think how she tickled his chin. Indeed, she has a marvel's white hand, I must needs confess.
Without the rack.
And she takes upon her to spy a white hair on his chin.
Alas, poor chin. Many a wart is richer.
But there was such laughing. Queen Hecuba laughed that her eyes ran over.
With millstones.
Cassandra laughed.
But there was more tempered fire under the pot of her eyes. Did her eyes run o'er too?
Hector laughed too, and Hector...
What was all this laughing?
Marry, at the white hair that Helen spied on Troilus' chin.
And had been a green hair, I should have laughed too.
They laughed not so much at the hair as at his pretty answer.
What was his answer?
Quoth she, here's but 52 hairs on your chin, and one of them is white.
This is her question.
That's true, make no question of that. 52 hairs, quoth he, and one white. That white hair is my father, and all the rest are his sons. Jupiter, quoth she, which of these hairs is Paris, my husband? The forked one, quoth he, plucked out and give it him. But there was so much laughing, and Helen so blushed, and Paris so chuffed, and the rest laughed, that it passed.
So let it now, for it has been a great while going by.
Well, cousin, I told you a thing yesterday, think on't.
So I do.
I'll be sworn 'tis true, he will weep you, and 'twere a man born in April.
And I'll spring up in his tears, and 'twere a nettle against May.
Hark, they're coming from the field. Shall we stand up here and see them as they pass towards Ilium? Good niece, do. Sweet niece Cressida.
At your pleasure.
Here's an excellent place. Here we may see most bravely, and I'll tell you them all by their names as they pass by. But mark Troylus above the rest.
Speak not so loud.
That's Aeneas. Is not that a brave man? He's one of the flowers of Troy, I can tell you. But mark Troylus, you shall see anon.
Who's that?
Antenor. He has a shrewd wit, I can tell you, and he's a man good enough. He's one of the soundest judgment in Troy whatsoever, and a proper man of person. Whence comes Troylus? I'll show you Troylus anon. If you see me, you shall see him nod at me.
Will he give you the nod?
You'll see.
If you do, the rich shall have more.
Ah, now that's Hector, that. Now look you. Now that there's a fellow. Go thy ways, Hector. There's a brave man, niece. Brave Hector, look how he looks. There's a countenance. Is not a brave man?
Oh, brave man.
Is he not? It does a man's heart good. Look you, what hacks there are on his helmet. Look you yonder, do you see? Look you there. There's no jesting, laying on, taked off. Who ill, as they say, there be hacks.
Be those with swords?
Swords, anything he cares not, and the devil come to him, it's all one. By God's lid, it does one's heart good. Oh, yonder comes Paris, Look ye yonder, niece, is not a gallant man too, is not? Aye, this is brave now. Who said he came hurt home today? He's not hurt. Why, this will do Helen's heart good now. Would I could see Troylus now. You shall see Troylus anon.
Who's that?
Ah, that's Helenus. I marvel where Troylus is. That's Helenus. I think he went not forth today. Yeah, that's Helenus.
Can Helenus fight, uncle?
Helenus? No. Yes, he'll fight indifferently. Yeah, I marvel where Troylus is. Hark, do you not hear the people cry, Troylus? Helenus is a priest.
What sneaking fellow comes yonder?
Where? Oh, yonder, that's Deiphobus. 'Tis Troylus. There's a man, niece. Huh? Brave Troylus, prince of chivalry.
Peace, for shame, peace.
Mark him, not him. Brave Troylus. Look well upon him, niece. Look you how his sword is bloodied and his helm more hacked than Hector's. And how he looks, how he goes. Admirable youth. He ne'er saw 23. Go thy ways, Troylus, go thy ways. Had I a sister were a grace, or a daughter a goddess, he should take his choice. Oh, admirable man. Paris is dirt to him, and I warrant Helen to change, would give money to boot.
Here come more.
Yeah. Asses, fools, dolt, chaff and bran, porridge after meat. I could live and die in the eyes of Troylus. Ne'er look, the eagles are gone. Crows and daws. I had rather be such a man as Troylus than Agamemnon and all Greece.
There is among the Greeks Achilles, a better man than Troylus.
Achilles? A drayman, a porter, a very camel. Well. Why, have you any discretion? Have you any eyes? Do you know what a man is? Is not birth, beauty, good shape, discourse, manhood, learning, gentleness, virtue, youth, liberality, and so forth, the spice, the salt that seasons a man?
Aye, a minced man. And then to be baked with no date in the pie, for then the man's date's out.
You are such another woman. One knows not at what ward you lie.
Upon my back, to defend my belly. Upon my wit, to defend my wiles. Upon my secrecy, to defend mine honesty. My mass, to defend my beauty. And you, to defend all of these. And all these wards I lie at 1,000 watches.
Say one of your watches.
Nay, I'll watch you for that. And that's one of the chiefest of them too. If I cannot ward what I would not have hit, I can watch you for telling how I took the blow, unless it's well past hiding, and then it's past watching.
You are such another.
Sir, my lord would instantly speak with you.
Where?
At your own house.
Oh, good boy, tell him I come. I doubt he be hurt. Well, fare you well, good niece.
Adieu, uncle.
I'll be with you, niece, by and by.
To bring, uncle?
Aye, a token from Troylus.
By that same token, you are a bawd. Words, vows, gifts, tears, and love's full sacrifice he offers in another's enterprise. But more in Troylus 1,000-fold I see than in the glass of Pandar's praise may be. Yet I hold off. Women are angels wooing. Things won are done. Joy's soul lies in the doing. That she beloved knows not, that knows not this. Men prize the thing ungained more than it is. That she was never yet that ever knew love got so sweet as when desire did sue. Therefore this maxim out of love I teach. Achievement is command, ungained beseech. That though my heart contends from love doth bear, nothing of that shall from mine eyes appear.
Princes, what grief hath sent the jaundice on your cheeks? The ample proposition that hope makes in all designs begun on earth below fails in the promised largeness. Cheeks and disasters grow in the veins of actions highest reared. As knots by the conflux of meeting sap infect the sound pine, and diverts his grain tortive and errant from his course of growth. Nor, princes, is it matter new to us, that we come short of our suppose so far, that after 7 years' siege, yet Troy walls stand, sith every action that hath gone before, whereof we have record, trial did draw bias and thwart, not answering the aim. And that unbodied figure of the thought that gave surmised shape, why then, you princes, do you with cheeks abashed behold our works, and think them shame, which are indeed naught else but the protractive trials of great Jove to find persistive constancy in men? The fineness of which metal is not found in fortune's love, for then the bold and coward, the wise and fool, the artist and unread, the hard and soft seem all affined and kin, but in the wind and tempest of her frown, distinction with a loud and powerful fan puffing at all winnows the light away, and all what hath mass or matter by itself lies rich in virtue and unmingled.
With due observance of thy godly seat, great Agamemnon, Nestor shall apply thy latest words. In the reproof of chance lies the true proof of men. The sea being smooth, how many shallow bauble boats dare sail upon her patient breast, making their way with those of nobler bulk? But let the ruffian Boreas once engage the gentle Thetis, and anon behold the strong-ribbed bark through liquid mountains cut, bounding between the two moist elements like Perseus' horse. Where's then the saucy boat, whose weak untimbered sides but even now co-rivaled greatness, either to harbor fled, or made a toast for Neptune? Even so doth valor's show and valor's worth divide in storms of fortune. For in her ray and brightness, the herd hath more annoyance by the breeze than by the tiger. But when the splitting wind makes flexible the knees of knotted oaks, and flies fled under shade, why then the thing of courage, and roused with rage doth sympathize, and with an ancient tuned in self-same key, retires to chiding fortune.
Agamemnon, thou great commander, nerve and bone of Greece, heart of our numbers, soul and only spirit, in whom the tempers and the minds of all should be shut up, hear what Ulysses speaks, besides the applause and approbation, the which most mighty for thy place and sway, and thou most reverent for thy stretched out love. I give to you, to both your speeches, which were such as Agamemnon and the hand of Greece should hold up high in brass, and such again as venerable Nestor, hatched in silver, should with a bond of airs strong as the axle tree, in which the heavens ride, knit all Greek ears to his experienced tongue. Yet let it please both, thou great and wise, to hear Ulysses speak.
Speak, Prince of Ithaca, and be it of less expect that matter needless of importless burthen divide thy lips. Then we are confident when rank Thersites opes his majestic jaws, we shall hear music, wit, and oracle.
Troy, yet upon his bases had been down, and the great Hector's sword had lacked a master, but for these instances the specialty of rule hath been neglected. And look how many Grecian tents do stand hollow upon this plain, so many hollow factions. When the general is not like the hive, to whom the foragers shall all repair, what honey is expected? Degree being wizarded, the unworthiest shows as fairly in the mask the heavens themselves, the planets, and this centre. Observe degree, priority, and place, insisture, course, proportion, season, form, office, and custom, all in line of order. And therefore is the glorious planet Sol in noble eminence, enthroned and sphered, amidst the other, whose medicinable eye corrects the ill aspects of planets evil, and posts, like the commandment of a king, sounds check to good and bad. But when the planets in evil mixture to disorder wander, what plagues and what portents, what mutiny, what raging of the sea, shaking of earth, commotion in the winds, frights, changes, horrors, divert and crack, rend and deracinate the unity and married calm of states quite from their fixture. Oh, when degree is shaked, which is the ladder to all high designs, the enterprise is sick. How could communities, degrees in schools and brotherhoods in cities, peaceful commerce from dividable shores, the primogenitive and due of birth, prerogative of age, crowns, scepters, laurels, but by degree stand in the authentic place? Take but degree away, untune that string, and hark what discord follows. Each thing meeks in mere oppugnancy. The bounded waters should lift their bosoms higher than the shores and make a sop of all this solid globe. Strength should be lord of imbecility, and the rude son should strike his father dead. Force should be right, or rather right and wrong, between whose endless jar justice resides, should lose her names, and so should justice too. Then everything includes itself in power, power into will, will into appetite, and appetite, an universal wolf so doubly seconded with will and power, must make perforce a universal prey, and last eat up himself. Great Agamemnon, this chaos, when degree is suffocate, follows the choking, and this neglection of degree, is it that by a pace goes backward in a purpose it hath to climb? The general's disdain by him one step below, he by the next, that next by him beneath. So every step, exampled by the first pace that is sick of his superior, grows to an envious fever of pale and bloodless emulation. And 'tis this fever that keeps Troy on foot, not her own sinews. To end a tale of length, Troy in our weakness lives, not in her strength.
Most wisely hath Ulysses here discovered the fever whereof all our power is sick.
The nature of the sickness found, Ulysses, what is the remedy?
Oh, the great Achilles, whom opinion crowns, the sinew and the forehand of our host, having his ear full of his airy fame, grows dainty in his worth, and in his tent lies mocking our designs. With him, Patroclus, upon a lazy bed, the livelong day breaks scurril jests, and with ridiculous and awkward action, which slanderer he imitation calls, he pageants us. Sometime great Agamemnon, thy topless deputation he puts on, and like a strutting player whose conceit lies in his hamstring, and doth think it rich to hear the wooden dialogue and sound twixt his stretched footing and the scaffoldage. Such to be pitied and o'errested seeming he acts thy greatness in. And when he speaks, 'tis like a chime amending, with terms unsquared, which from the tongue of roaring Typhon dropped would seem hyperboles. At this fusty stuff the large Achilles, on his priest bed lolling, from his deep chest laughs out a loud applause, cries, "Excellent! 'Tis Agamemnon just." Now play me, Nestor, hum and stroke thy beard, as he being dressed to some oration, that's done as near as the extremest end of parallels, as like as Vulcan and his wife. Yet God Achilles still cries, "Excellent! 'Tis Nestor right." Now play him, me, Patroclus, arming to answer in a night alarm, and then, forsooth, the faint defects of age must be the scene of mirth, to cough and spit, and with a palsy fumbling on his gorget, shake in and out the rivet. And at this sport Sir Valor dies, cries, "Oh, enough, Patroclus, or give me ribs of steel, I shall split all in pleasure of my spleen." And in this fashion, all our abilities, gifts, natures, shapes, severals and generals of grace exact, achievements, plots, orders, preventions, excitements to the field, or speech for truce, success or loss, what is or is not, serves as stuff for these two to make paradoxes.
And in the imitation of these twain, who, as Ulysses says, opinion crowns with that imperial voice, many are infect. Ajax has grown self-willed and bears his head in such array as in full as proud a place as broad Achilles, and keeps his tent like him. Most factious feasts, rails at our state of war, bold as an oracle, and sets Thersites, a slave, whose gall coins slanders like a mint, to match us in comparisons with dirt, to weaken and discredit our exposure, how rank soever rounded in with danger.
They tax our policy and call it cowardice, count wisdom as no member of the war, forestall prescience, and esteem no act but that of hand. The still and mental parts that do contrive how many hands shall strike when fitness call on them, and know by measure of their observant toil the enemy's weight. Why, this hath not a finger's dignity. They call this bed work, mappery, closet war, so that the ram that batters down the wall for the great swing and rudeness of his boys, they place before his hand that made the engine, or those that with the fineness of their souls by reason guide his execution.
Let this be granted, and Achilles' horse makes many Thetis' sons.
What trumpet? Look, Menelaus.
From Troy.
What would you for our tent?
Is this great Agamemnon's tent, I pray you?
Even this?
May one that is a herald and a prince do a fair message to his kingly ears?
With surety stronger than Achilles' arm for all the Greekish heads, with one voice call Agamemnon head and general.
Fair leave and large security. How may a stranger to those most imperial looks know them from eyes of other mortals?
How?
I asked that I might waken reverence, and on the cheek be ready with a blush modest as morning, when she coldly eyes the youthful Phoebus. Which is that god in office guiding men? Which is the high and mighty Agamemnon?
This Troyan scorns us, or the men of Troy are ceremonious courtiers.
Courtiers as free, as debonair, unarmed as bending angels. That's their fame in peace. But when they would seem soldiers, they have Gauls, good arms, strong joints, true swords, and Jove's accord, nothing so full of heart. But peace, Aeneas, peace, Trojan. Lay thy finger on thy lips. The worthiness of praise disdains his worth. If that he praised himself, bring the praise forth. But what the repining enemy commands, that breath fame blows, that praise soul pure transcends.
Sir, you of Troy, call you yourself Aeneas?
I, Greek, that is my name.
What's your affair, I pray you?
Sir, pardon, 'tis for Agamemnon's ears.
He hears naught privately. That comes from Troy.
Nor I from Troy come not to whisper him. I bring a trumpet to awake his ear, to set his sense on the attentive bent, and then to speak.
Speak frankly as the wind. It is not Agamemnon's sleeping hour. That thou shalt know, Troyan, he is awake. He tells thee so himself.
Ha! Trumpet, blow loud, send thy brass voice through all these lazy tents, and every Greek of metal, let him know what Troy means fairly shall be spoke aloud. We have great Agamemnon here in Troy, a prince called Hector. Priam is his father, who in this dull and long contrived truce is rusty grown. He bade me take a trumpet and to this purpose speak. Kings, princes, lords, if there be one amongst the fairest of Greece that holds his honor higher than his ease, that seeks his praise more than he fears his peril, that knows his valor and knows not his fear, that loves his mistress more than in confession, with truant vows to her own lips he loves, and dare avow her beauty and her worth in other arms than hers. To him this challenge: Hector, in view of Trojans and of Greeks, shall make it good, or do his best to do it. He hath a lady wiser, fairer, truer than ever Greek did compass in his arms, and will tomorrow with his trumpet call midway between your tents and walls of Troy, to rouse a Grecian that is true in love. If any come, Hector shall honor him. If none, I'll say in Troy when he'll say in Troy when he retires, the Grecian dames are sunburnt and not worth a splinter of a lance, even so much.
This shall be told our lover's lord Aeneas. If none of them have soul in such a kind, we left them all at home. But we are soldiers, and may that soldier a mere recreant prove that means not, hath not, or is not in love. If then one is, or hath, or means to be, that one meets Hector. If none else, I'll be he.
Tell him of Nestor, one that was a man when Hector's grandsire sought. He is old now, and if there be not in our Grecian mold one noble man that hath one spark of fire to answer for his love, tell him from me, I'll hide my silver beard in a gold beaver, and in my vant brace put this withered brawn, and meeting him will tell him that my lady was fairer than his grandam, and as chaste as may be in the world. His youth in flood I'll pawn this tooth with my 3 drops of blood.
Now, heavens forbid such scarcity of youth.
Amen.
Fair Lord Aeneas, let me touch your hand. To our pavilion shall I lead you first. Achilles shall have word of this intent. So shall Lord of Greece from tent to tent. Yourself shall feast with us before you go, and find the welcome of a noble foe.
Nestor,
What says Ulysses?
I have a young conception in my brain. Be you my time to bring it to some shape.
What is't?
'Tis this: blunt wedgeries, rived hard knots, the seeded pride that has to this maturity blown up in rank Achilles, must or now be cropped, or shedding breed a nursery of like evil to overbulk us all.
Well, then how?
Oh, this challenge that the gallant Hector sends, however it is spread in general name, relates in purpose only to Achilles.
The purpose is perspicuous, even as substance whose grossness like little characters sum up, and in the publication make no strain. But that Achilles, where his brain is barren as banks of Libya, though Apollo knows 'tis dry enough, will with great speed of judgment, I with celerity find Hector's purpose pointing on him.
And wake him to the answer, think you?
Yes, 'tis most meet. Who may you else oppose that can from Hector bring his honor off, if not Achilles? Thought though it be a sportful combat, yet in this trial much opinion dwells. For here the Trojans taste our dearest repute with their finest palate. And trust to me, Ulysses, our imputation shall be oddly poised in this wild action. For the success, although particular, shall give a scantling of good or bad unto the general. And in such indexes, although small pricks to their subsequent volumes, there is seen the baby figure of the giant mass of things to come at large. It is supposed he that meets Hector issues from our choice, and choice being mutual act of all our souls, makes merit her election, and doth boil, as 'twere, from forth us all, a man distilled out of our virtues, who miscarrying, what hearts from hence receives the conquering part to steal a strong opinion to themselves, which entertained, limbs are in his instruments, in no less working than our swords and bows, directive by the limbs.
Give pardon to my speech. Therefore 'tis meet Achilles meet not Hector. Let us, like merchants, show our foulest wares and think perchance they'll sell. If not, the lustre of the better yet to show shall show the better. Do not consent that ever Hector and Achilles meet, for both our honour and our shame in this are dogged with two strange followers.
I see them not with my old eyes. What are they?
What glory our Achilles shares from Hector, were he not proud, we all should wear with him. But he already is too insolent, and we were better parched in Afric's son than in the pride and salt scorn of his eyes, should he scape Hector fair. If he were foiled, why then we did our main opinion crush in taint of our best man. Now, make a lottery, and by device let blockish Ajax draw the sword to fight with Hector. Among ourselves give him allowance as the worthier man, for that will physic the great Myrmidian, who broils in loud applause, and make him fall his crest, that prouder than blue iris bends. If the dull, brainless Ajax comes stave off, we'll dress him up in voices. If he fail, yet go we under our opinions still, that we have better men. But hit or miss our project's life, this shape of sense assumes. Ajax employed plucks down Achilles' plumes.
Now, Ulysses, I begin to relish thy advice, and I will give a taste of it forthwith. To Agamemnon, go we to him straight. Two curs shall tame each other. Pride alone must tear the mastiffs on, as 'twere their bone.
Thersites.
Agamemnon, how if he had biles full all over generally?
Thersites.
And those biles did run, say so. Did not the general run? Were that not a bocce core?
Dog.
Then there would come some matter from him. I see none now.
Thou bitch wolf son, canst you not hear? Feel then!
Ah! Ah! The plague of Greece upon thee, thou mongrel, beef-witted lord.
Speak then, that you whinedst leaven, speak. I will beat thee into handsomeness.
Yeah. I'm going to rail thee into wit and holiness, but I think thy horse will sooner con an oration than you learn a prayer without a book. I can't strike, canst thou? Red murder to thy jade tricks.
Toadstool, learn me the proclamation.
Dost thou think I have no sense? Thou strikest me thus?
The proclamation.
Thou art proclaimed a fool, I think.
Do not, Porpentine, do not. My fingers itch.
I would thou didst itch from head to foot, and I had a scratching of thee, I would make thee the loathsome scab and grease.
I say the proclamation.
Thou grumblest and railest every hour upon Achilles, and thou art as full of envy at his greatness, as Cerberus is at Proserpina's beauty, aye, that thou barkst at him.
Mistress Thersites.
Thou shouldst strike him.
Cobloaf!
He would pun thee into shivers with his fist, as a sailor breaks a biscuit.
You horse and cur.
Do.
Thou stool for a witch.
Aye, do. Thou sudden-witted lord. Thou hast no more brain than I have in mine elbows. And Asinico may tutor thee. Thou scurvy valiant ass, thou art here but to thresh Trojans, and thou art bought and sold among those of any wit, like a barbarian slave. If thou used to beat me, I will begin at thy heel, and tell what thou art by inches, thou thing of no bowels, thou.
You dog.
You scurvy lord.
You cur.
Mars is idiot. Do rudeness. Do, camel. Do.
Why, how now, Ajax? Wherefore do you this? How now, Thersites? What's the matter, man?
You see him there, do you?
Aye, what's the matter?
Nay, look upon him.
So I do. What's the matter?
Nay, regard him well.
Well, why I do so?
But yet you look not well upon him. For whosoever you take him to be, he is Ajax.
I know that, fool.
Aye, but the fool knows not himself.
Therefore I beat thee.
Oh, lo. What modicums of wit he utters. His evasions have ears thus long. I have bobbed his brain more than he has beat my bones. I will buy 9 sparrows for a penny, and his pia mater is not worth the 9th part of a sparrow. This lord, Achilles, Ajax, who wears his wit in his belly, his guts in his head. Oh, I'll tell you what I say of him.
What?
I say this Ajax.
Nay, good Ajax.
Has not so much wit.
Nay, I must hold you.
As will stop the eye of Helen's needle for whom he comes to fight.
Peace, fool.
I would have peace and quietness, but the fool will not. That he. Look you there!
Oh, thou damned cur, I shall.
Will you set your wit to a fool's?
No, I warrant you, for fools will shame it.
Good words, Thersites.
What's the quarrel?
I bade thee, vile owl, go learn me the tenure of the proclamation, and he rails upon me.
I serve thee not.
Well, go to.
I serve here voluntary.
Your last service was sufferance. 'Twas not voluntary. No man is beaten voluntary. Ajax was here the voluntary, and you as under an impress.
E'en so. Great deal of your wit too lies in your sinews, or else there be liars. Hector shall have a great catch if he knock out either of your brains. He would as good crack a fusty nut with no kernel.
What, with me too, Thersites?
There's Ulysses, an old Nestor, whose wit was moldy ere their grandsires had nails on their toes, yoke you like draft oxen, and make you plow up the war.
What?
Yes, good sooth. To Achilles, to Ajax, to...
I shall cut out your tongue.
'Tis no matter, I shall speak as much as thou afterwards.
Ooh. No more words, Thersites.
Oh. I will hold my peace when Achilles' brooch bids me, shall I?
There's for you, Patroclus.
I will see you hang like clot poles ere I come any more to your tents. I will keep where there is wit stirring and leave the faction of fools.
A good riddance.
Mary, this, sir, is proclaimed through all our hosts, that Hector, by the 5th hour of the sun, will with a trumpet, twixt our tents and Troy, tomorrow morning call some knight to arms that hath a stomach, and such a one that dare maintain I know not what. 'Tis trash. Farewell.
Farewell? Who shall answer him?
I know not. 'Tis put to lottery. Otherwise, he knew his man.
Oh, meaning you, I will go learn more of it.
After so many hours, lives, speeches spent, thus once again, says Nestor from the Greeks, deliver Helen, and all damage else as honor, loss of time, travail, expense, wounds, friends, and what else dear that is consumed in hot digestion of this cormorant war, shall be struck off. Hector, what say you to't?
Though no man lesser fears the Greeks than I, as far as touches my particular. Yet, dread Priam, there is no lady of more softer bowels, more spongy to suck in the sense of fear, more ready to cry out, who knows what follows, than Hector is. The wound of peace is surety secure, but modest doubt is called. The beacon of the wise, the tent that searches to the bottom of the worst. Let Helen go. Since the first sword was drawn about this question, every tith soul amongst many thousand hath been as dear as Helen, I mean of ours, if we have lost so many tenths of ours. To guard a thing not ours, nor worth to us, had it our name, the value of 1/10. What merit is what merits in that reason which denies the yielding of her up?
Oh, fie, my brother. Weigh you the worth and honor of a king so great as our dread father in a scale of common ounces? Will you with counters sum the past proportion of his infinite, and buckle in a waist most fathomless with spans and inches so diminutive as fears and reasons? Fie, for godly shame.
No marvel, though you bite so sharp at reasons, you are so empty of them. Should not our father bear the great sway of his affairs with reasons? Because your speech hath none that tells him so.
You are for dreams and slumbers, brother priest. Your fur, your gloves with reason. Here are your reasons. You know an enemy intends you harm. You know a sword employed is perilous, and reason flies the object of all harm. Who marvels then when Helenus beholds a Grecian and his sword, if he do set the very wings of reason to his heels and fly like chidden Mercury from Jove, or like a star disorbed? Nay, if we talk reason, let's shut our gates and sleep. Manhood and honor should have hare hearts were they but fact their thoughts with this crammed reason. Reason and respect make livers pale and lustihood deject.
Brother, she is not worth what she doth cost the holding.
What is aught but as 'tis valued?
But value dwells not in particular will, it holds his estimate and dignity as well, wherein 'tis precious of itself, as in the prizer. 'Tis made idolatry to make the service greater than the god, and the will dotes that is inclinable to what infectiously itself affects, without some image of the affected merit.
I take today a wife, and my election is led on in the conduct of my will enkindled by mine eyes and ears. Two traded pilots twixt the dangerous shores of will and judgment. How may I avoid, although my will distaste what is elected, the wife I chose? There can be no evasion to blench from this and to stand firm by honor. We will not turn back the silks upon the merchant when we have soiled them, nor the remainder viands we do not throw in unrespected sieve, because now we are full. It was thought meet Paris should do some vengeance on the Greeks. Your breath of full consent bellied his sails. The seas and winds, old wranglers, took a truce and did him service. He touched the ports desired, and for an old aunt whom the Greeks held captive, he brought a Grecian queen, whose youth and freshness wrinkles Apollo and makes stale the morning. Why keep we her? The Grecians keep our aunt. Is she worth keeping? Why, she is a pearl, whose price hath launched above 1,000 ships and turned crowned kings to merchants. If you'll avouch 'twas wisdom Paris went, as you must needs, for you all cried, go, go. If you'll confess he brought home noble prize, as you must needs, for you all clapped your hands and cried, inestimable. Why, do you now the issue of your proper wisdom's rate, and do a deed that fortune never did, beggar the estimation which you prized richer than sea and land? Oh, theft most base that we have stolen, what we do fear to keep. But thieves unworthy of a thing so stolen that in their country did them that disgrace, we fear to warrant in our native place.
Cry, Trojans, cry!
What noise? What shriek is this?
Oh, 'tis our mad sister, I know her voice.
Cry, Trojans!
'Tis Cassandra.
Cry, Trojans, cry! Lend me 10,000 eyes, and I will fill them with prophetic tears.
Peace, sister, peace.
Virgins and boys, mid-age and wrinkled old, soft infancy that nothing can but cry, add to my clamor. Let us pay betimes the moiety of that mass of moan to come. Cry, Trojans, cry. Practice your eyes with tears. Troy must not be, nor goodly Ilion stand. Our firebrand brother Paris burns us all. Cry, Trojans, cry, a Helen and a woe. Cry, cry, Troy burns, or else let Helen go.
Now, youthful Troilus, do not these high strains of divination in our sister work some touches of remorse? Or is your blood so madly hot that no discourse of reason nor fear of bad success in a bad cause can qualify the same?
Why, brother Hector, we may not think the justness of each act such, and no other than event doth form it, nor once deject the courage of our minds, because Cassandra's mad. Her brain-sick raptures cannot distaste the goodness of a quarrel which hath our several honors all engaged to make it gracious. For my private part, I am no more touched than all of Priam's sons. And Jove forbid there should be done amongst us such things as might offend the weakest spleen to fight for and maintain.
Else might the world convince of levity, as well my undertakings as your counsels. But I attest the gods, your full consent gave wings to my propension, and cut off all fears attending on so dire a project. For what, alas, can these my single arms? What propugnation is in one man's valor to stand the push and enmity of those who this quarrel would excite? Yet I protest, were I alone to pass the difficulties, and had as ample power as I have will, Paris should ne'er retract what he hath done, nor faint in the pursuit.
Paris, you speak like one besotted on your sweet delights. You have the honey still, but these the gall, so to be valiant is no praise at all.
Sir, I propose not merely to myself the pleasures such a beauty brings with it, but I would have the soil of her fair rape wiped off in honorable keeping her. What treason were it to the ransacked queen, disgrace to your great worths, and shame to me, now to deliver her possession up on terms of base compulsion? Can it be that so degenerate a strain as this should once set footing in your generous bosoms? There is not the meanest spirit on our party without a heart to dare or sword to draw when Helen is defended, nor none so noble whose life were ill bestowed or death unfamed where Helen is the subject. Then, I say, well may we fight for her whom we know well. The world's large spaces cannot parallel.
Paris and Troilus, you have both said well, and on the cause in question now in hand have glozed, but superficially, not much unlike young men whom Aristotle thought unfit to hear moral philosophy. The reasons you allege do more conduce to the hot passion of distempered blood than to make up a free determination twixt right and wrong. For pleasure and revenge have ears more deaf than adders to the voice of any true decision. Nature craves all dues be rendered to their owners. Now, what nearer debt in all humanity than wife is to the husband? If this law of nature be corrupted through affection, and that great minds of partial indulgence to their benumbed wills resist the same, there is a law in each well-ordered nation to curb those raging appetites that are most disobedient and refractory. If Helen then be wife to Sparta's king, and 'tis known she is, these moral laws of nature and of nations speak aloud, do have her back returned. Thus, to persist in doing wrong extenuates not wrong, but makes it much more heavy. Hector's opinion, in this way of truth, yet nevertheless, my sprightly brethren, I prepend to you, in resolution to keep Helen still, for 'tis a cause that hath no mean dependence upon our joint and several dignities.
Oh, well, why, there you touched the life of our design. Were it not glory that we more affected in the performance of our having spleens, I would not wish a drop of Troyan blood spent more in her defense. But, worthy Hector, she is a theme of renown and honor, a spur to valiant and magnanimous deeds, whose present courage may beat down our foes, and fame in time to come canonize us. For I presume brave Hector would not lose so rich advantage of a promised glory as smiles upon the forehead of this action for the wide world's revenue.
I am yours, you valiant offspring of Priamus. I have a roysting challenge sent amongst the dull and factious nobles of the Greeks, will strike amazement to their drowsy spirits. I was advertised, their great general slept, whilst emulation in the army crept. This I will presume to wake him.
How now, Thersites? What, lost in the labyrinth of thy fury? Shall the elephant Ajax carry it thus? He beats me, and I rail at him. Oh, worthy satisfaction, would it were otherwise, that I could beat him whilst he railed at me. Sfoot. I'll learn to conjure and raise devils, but I'll see some issue of my spiteful execrations. Then there's Achilles, a rare engineer. If Troy be not taken till these two undermine it, the walls will stand till they fall of themselves. O thou great thunder darter of Olympus, forget that thou art Jove, and Mercury, loose all the serpentine craft of thy caduceus. If thou take not that little less than little wit from them that they have, which short-armed ignorance itself knows, is so abundant scarce. I will not in circumvention deliver a fly from a spider, without drawing the massy irons and cutting the web. After this, the vengeance on the whole camp, or rather the bone ache. For that, methinks, is the curse dependent on those that war for a placket. I have said my prayers, and devil, envy, say amen. What ho? My lord Achilles?
Who's there? Thersites! Good Thersites, come in and rail.
Oh, if I could have remembered a gilt counterfeit, thou wouldst not have slipped out of my contemplation. But it is no matter. Thyself upon thyself. The common curse of mankind, folly and ignorance be thine. In great revenue, heaven bless thee from a tutor, and discipline come not near thee. Let thy blood be thy direction till thy death. Then if she lays thee out, says thou art a fair course, I'll be sworn, and sworn upon she never shrouded any but Lazarus. Where's Achilles?
What, art thou devout? Wast thou in prayer?
Aye, the heavens hear me.
Who's there?
Thersites, my lord.
Where? Art thou come? Why, my cheese, my digestion. Why hast thou not served thyself into my table so many meals? Come, what's Agamemnon?
Thy commander, Achilles. Then tell me, Patroclus, what's Achilles?
Thy lord, Thersites. Then tell me, I pray thee, what's thyself?
Thy knower, Patroclus. Then tell me, Patroclus, what art thou?
Thou mayst tell that thou knowst.
Oh, tell.
I'll decline the whole question. Agamemnon commands Achilles. Achilles is my lord. I am Patroclus knower, and Patroclus is a fool.
You rascal.
Wait, peace, fool, I've not done.
He is a privileged man. Proceed, Thersites.
Agamemnon is a fool. Achilles is a fool. Thersites is a fool. And as aforesaid, Patroclus is a fool.
Derive this. Come.
Well, Agamemnon is a fool to offer to command Achilles. Achilles is a fool to be commanded of Agamemnon. Thersites is a fool to serve such a fool. And Patroclus is a fool positive.
Why am I a fool?
Make that demand of to the Creator. It suffices me. Thou art. Look you, who comes here?
Patroclus, I'll speak with nobody. Come in with me, Thersites.
Here is such a patchery, such juggling, and such knavery. All the argument is a cuckold and a whore. Good quarrel to draw emulations, factions, and bleed to death upon. Now, the dry supago on the subject, and war and lechery confound all.
Where is Achilles?
Within his tent, but ill-disposed, my lord.
Let it be known to him that we are here. He sent our messengers, and we lay by our appertainments, visiting of him. Let him be told of, so perchance he thinks we dare not move the question of our place, or know not what we are.
I shall so say to him.
We saw him at the opening of his tent. He is not sick.
Yes, lying sick, sick of proud heart. You may call it melancholy if it will favor the man, but by my head it is pride. But why? Why let him show us the cause? A word, my lord.
Who's Ajax thus to bay at him?
Achilles hath inveigled his fool from him.
Who, Thersites?
He.
Then will Ajax lack matter if he have lost his argument.
Ah, no. You see, he is his argument that has his argument Achilles.
All the better. Their fraction is more our wish than their faction. But it was a strong counsel that a fool could disunite.
The amity that wisdom knits, not folly, may uneasily untie. Here comes Patroclus.
No Achilles with him.
The elephant hath joints, but none for courtesy. His leg are legs for necessity, not for flight.
Achilles bids me say he is much sorry. If anything more than your sport and pleasure did move your greatness and this noble state to call upon him, he hopes it is no other. But for your health and your digestion's sake, and after dinner's breath.
Hear you, Patroclus. We are too well acquainted with these answers, but his evasion, winged thus swift with scorn, cannot outfly our apprehensions. Much a tribute he hath, and much the reason why we ascribe it to him, yet all his virtues not virtuously of his own part beheld, do in our eyes begin to lose their gloss, yea, and like fair fruit in an unwholesome dish, are we too like to rot untasted. Go and tell him we came to speak with him. And you shall not sin if you do say we think him overproud and under-honest. If self-assumption greater than in the none of judgment, and worthier than himself, he attends the savage strangeness he puts on, disguise the holy strength of their command, and underwrite in an observing kind his humorous predominance, yea, watch his pettish lines, his ebbs, his flows, as if the passage and whole carriage of this action rode on his tide. Go tell him this, and add that if he overhold his price too much, will none of him. But let him, like an engine not portable, lie under his report. Bring action hither. This cannot go to war. A stirring dwarf we do allowance give before a sleeping giant. Tell him so.
I shall, and bring his answer presently.
In second voice, we'll not be satisfied. We come to speak with him. Ulysses, enter you.
What is he more than another?
No more than what he thinks he is.
Is he so much? Do you not think he thinks himself a better man than I am?
No question.
Will you subscribe his thought and say he is?
No, noble Ajax, you are as strong, as valiant, as wise, no less noble, much more gentle, and altogether more tractable.
Why should a man be proud? How doth pride grow? I know not what it is.
Your mind is the clearer, Ajax, and your virtues the fairer. He that is proud eats up himself. Pride is his own glass, his own trumpet, his own chronicle, and whatever praises itself but in the decade devours the deed in the praise.
I do hate a proud man as I hate the engendering of toads.
Yet he loves himself. It's not strange.
Achilles will not to the field tomorrow.
What's his excuse?
He doth rely on none, but carries on the stream of his dispose, without observance or respect of any in will particular, and in self-admission.
Why will he not, upon our faith request, untent his person, and share the air with us?
Things small as nothing, for request's sake only he makes important. Possessed he is with greatness, and speaks not to himself, but with a pride that quarrels at self-breath. Imagined wrath holds in his blood such swollen and hot discourse, that twixt his mental and his active parts, kingdomed Achilles in commotion rages, and batters 'gainst itself. What should I say? He is so plaguy proud that the death tokens of it cry no recovery.
Let Ajax go to him. Dear Lord, go you and greet him in his tent. 'Tis said he holds you well, and will be led at your request a little from himself.
No, Agamemnon, let it not be so. We'll consecrate the steps that Ajax makes when they go from Achilles. Shall the proud lord that bastes his arrogance with his own seem and never suffers matter of the world enter his thoughts, save such as do revolve and ruminate himself? Shall he be worshipped? Oft that we hold an idol more than he? No, this thrice worthy and right valiant lord must not so stall his palm, nobly acquired, nor by my will subjugate his merit, as amply titled as Achilles is. By going to Achilles, that were to enlarge his fat already, pride, and add more coals to cancer when he burns with entertaining great Hyperion. This I'll go to him? Jupiter forbid, and say in thunder, Achilles, go to him.
Oh, this is well. He rubs the vein of him.
And how his silence drinks up this applause.
If I go to him with my armed fist, I'll pash him o'er the face.
No, no, you shall not go.
Gonna be proud with me? I'll feast his pride. Let me go to him.
No, not for the worth that hangs upon our quarrel.
Paltry, insolent fella.
How he describes himself.
Can he not be sociable?
The raven chides blackness.
I'll let his humor's blood.
He will be the physician that should be the patient.
And all men were of my mind.
Wit would be out of fashion.
I should not bear it so. Should eat swords first. Shall pride carry it?
And would you'd carry half?
Would have 10 shares.
I will knead him. I'll make him supple. He's not yet through warm.
Force him with praises. Pour in. In his ambition is dry.
My lord, you feed too much on this dislike.
Our noble general, do not do so.
You must prepare to fight without Achilles.
Why, 'tis this naming of him doth him harm. He is a man, but 'tis before his face I will be silent.
Where should you so? He is not emulous as Achilles is.
Know the whole world he is as valiant.
Horse and dog that shall palter thus with us, would he were a Trojan.
What a vice were it in Ajax now.
If he were proud.
Or covetous of praise.
Aye, or surly born.
Or strange, or self-affected.
Thank the heavens, Lord, thou art of sweet composure. Praise him that got thee, she that gave thee suck. Fame be thy tutor and thy parts of nature, thrice famed beyond all erudition. But he that disciplined thy arms to fight, let Mars divide eternity in twain, and give him half. And for thy vigor, bull-bearing Milo, his addiction, yield to sinewy Ajax. I will not praise thy wisdom, who's like a bourne, a pale, a shore's confines thy spacious and dilated parts. Here's Nestor, instructed by the antiquary times. He is, but cannot but be wise. But pardon, Father Nestor, were your days as green as Ajax and your brain so temperate. You should not have the eminence of him, but be as Ajax.
Shall I call you father?
Aye, my good son.
Be ruled by him, Lord Ajax.
There is no tarrying here. The heart Achilles keeps thicket. Please it, our general, to call together all his state of war. Fresh kings are come to Troy. Tomorrow we must, with all our main of power, stand fast. And here's a lord, come knights from east to west and cull their flower. Ajax shall cope the best.
Go we to council. Let Achilles sleep. Light boats may sail swift, though greater bulks draw deep.
Ah, friend, you, pray you, a word. Do not you follow the young Lord Paris?
Aye, sir, when he goes before me.
You depend on him, I mean.
Sir, I do depend upon the Lord.
You depend upon a noble gentleman, I must needs praise him.
The Lord be praised.
You know me, do you not?
Faith, sir, superficially.
Well, friend, know me better. I am the Lord Pandarus.
I hope I shall know your honor better.
I do desire it.
You are in this state of grace?
Grace? Not so, friend. Honor and lordship are my title. What music is this?
I do but partly know, sir. It is music in parts.
Know you the musicians?
Holy, sir.
Who do they play to?
To the hearers, sir.
At whose pleasure, friend?
At mine, sir. And theirs that love music.
Command, I mean, friend.
Who shall I command?
Friend, we understand not one another. I am too courtly, and thou art too cunning. At whose request do these men play?
That's to it indeed, sir. Marry, sir, at the request of Paris, my lord, who's there in person, with him the mortal Venus, the heart-blood of beauty, love's invisible soul.
Who, my cousin Cressida?
No, sir, Helen. Could you not find out that by her attributes?
It should seem, fellow, that thou hast not seen the Lady Cressida. I come to speak with Paris from the Prince Troylus. I will make a complimental assault on him for my business seethes.
Sod in business, there's a stewed phrase indeed.
Fair be to you, my lord, and to all this fair company. Fair desires, in all fair measures, fairly guide them. Especially to you, fair queen. Fair thoughts be in your fair pillow.
Dear Lord, you are full of fair words.
You speak your fair pleasure, sweet queen. Fair prince here is a good broken music.
You broke it, cousin, and by my life you shall make it whole again. You shall piece it out with a piece of your performance. Nell, he is full of harmony.
Oh, truly, lady, no.
Oh, sir.
Rude in sooth, in good sooth, very rude.
Well said, my lord. Well, you say so in fit.
I have business to, my lord. Dear queen, my lord, will you vouchsafe me a word?
Nay, this shall not edge us out. We'll hear you sing, certainly.
Well, sweet queen, you are pleasant with me, but marry thus, my lord, my dear lord, and my most esteemed friend, your brother Troylus.
My lord Pendarus, sweet honey lord.
Go to, sweet queen, go to. Commends himself most affectionately to you.
You shall not bob us out of our melody. If you do, our melancholy upon your head.
Oh, sweet queen, there's a sweet queen of faith.
And to make a sweet lady sad is a sore offense.
Nay, that shall not serve your turn, that it shall not in truth lie. Nay, I care not for such words. No. And my lord desires you, that if the king call for him at supper, you will make his excuse.
My lord Pendarus?
What says my sweet queen, my very, very sweet queen?
What exploits in hand? Where's Supsy tonight?
Nay, but
my lord?
What says my sweet queen? My cousin will fall out with you.
You must not know where he sups.
With my disposer Cressida.
No matter. No, you are wide. Come, your disposer is sick.
Well, I'll make excuse.
Aye, good my lord. Why should you say Cressida? No, your poor disposer's sick.
I spy.
You spy. What do you spy? Come, give me an instrument now, my sweet queen.
Why, this is kindly done.
My niece is horrible in love with the thing you have, sweet queen.
She shall have it, my lord, if it be not my lord Paris.
Paris? Still none of him, those two are twain.
Falling in after falling out may make them three.
Come. I'll hear no more of this. I'll sing you a song now.
Aye, pray thee now. By my troth, sweet lord, thou hast a fine forehead.
Aye, you may.
Let thy song be love. This love will undo us all. Oh, Cupid.
Love, aye, that it shall be.
Aye. Good now, love. Love no thing but love.
No thing but love, aye. In good troth, it begins so. My dog hath fleas. Love, no thing but love still more. For love's bow shoots buck and doe, the shaft confounds, nor that it wounds, but tickles still the sword. These lovers cry, oh, they die, yet that which seems the wound to kill doth turn, oh, to ah, so dying love lives still. For a while, but groans out for hey ho.
In love you face that the very tip of the nose.
Yeah, he eats nothing but dove's love, and that breeds hot blood, and hot blood begets hot thoughts, and hot thoughts beget hot deeds, and hot deeds is love.
Is this the generation of love? Hot blood, hot thoughts, and hot deeds? Why, they are vipers. Is love a generation of vipers? Sweet lord, who's afield today?
Hector, Deiphobus, Helenus, Antenor, and all the gallantry of Troy. I would fain have armed today, but my Nell would not have it so. How chance my brother Troylus went not?
He hangs the lip at something you know all, Lord Pendarus.
Not I, honey sweet queen. I long to hear how they sped today. You'll remember your brother's excuse.
To a hair.
Farewell, sweet queen.
commend me to your niece.
I will, sweet queen.
They come from field. Let us to Priam's hall to greet the warriors. Sweet Helen, I must woo you to help unarm our Hector. His stubborn buckles, with these your white enchanting figures touched, shall more obey than to the edge of steel or force of Greekish sinews. You shall do more than all the island kings, disarm great Hector.
'Twill make us proud to be his servant, Paris. Yeah, he shall receive of us in duty, give us more palm in beauty than we have, yeah, overshine ourselves. Sweet, above thou, I love thee.
How now? Where's thy master? At my cousin Cressida?
No, sir. He stays for you to conduct him thither.
Ah, here he comes. How now? How now?
Yes, sir, I'll walk off.
Have you seen my cousin?
No, Pandarus, I stalk about her door like a strange soul upon the Stygian banks, staying for waftage. Oh, be thou my Charon, and give me swift transportance to those fields where I may wallow in the lily beds proposed for the deserver. Oh, gentle Pandarus, from Cupid's shoulder, pluck his painted wings and fly with me to Cressida.
Walk here in the orchard. I'll bring her straight.
I am giddy. An expectation whirls me round. The imaginary relish is so sweet that it enchants my sense. What will it be? When that the watery palate tastes indeed love's thrice repured nectar. Death, I fear me, swooning destruction, or some joy too fine, too subtle, potent, tuned too sharp in sweetness for the capacity of my ruder powers. I fear it much. And I do fear, besides, that I shall lose distinction in my joys, as doth a battle when they charge on heaps, the enemy flying.
She's making ready. She'll come straight. You must be witty now. She does so blush and fetches her wind so short as if she were frayed with the sprite. I'll fetch her. It is the prettiest villain. She fetches her breath so short as a new ta'en sparrow.
Oh God. Even such a passion doth embrace my bosom. My heart beats thicker than a fever's pulse, and all my powers do their bestowing lose, like vassalage at unawares encountering the eye of majesty.
Come, what need you blush? Well, shame's a baby. Here she is now. Swear the oaths now that you've sworn to me. What, are you gone again? You must be watched ere you be made tame, must you? Well, come your ways, come your ways. And you draw backward, we'll put you in the fills. Why do you not speak to her? Come, draw this curtain, let's see your picture. Oh, and alas, the day, how loath you are to offend daylight. And 'twere dark, you'd close sooner. So, rub on, kiss the mistress. How now, a kiss in the fee farm? Build there the carpenter, the air is sweet. Nay, you shall fight your hearts out ere I part you. The falcon, as the tercel, as all the ducks of the river. Go to, go to.
You have bereft me of all words, lady.
Words pay no debts. Give her deeds, but a review of the deeds too, if she call your activity in question. What billing again? Here's in witness whereof the parties interchangeably. Come in, come in. I'll go get a fire.
Will you walk in, my lord?
Oh, Cressida, how often have I wished me thus?
Wished, my lord? The gods grant. Oh, my lord.
What should they grant? What makes this pretty abruption? What too curious drag espies my sweet lady in the fountain of our love?
More dregs than water, if my fears have eyes.
Oh, fears make devils of cherubims. They never see truly.
Blind fear that seeing reason leads finds safe footing. Then blind reason stumbling without fear. To fear the worst oft cures the worst.
Oh, Let my lady apprehend no fear. In all Cupid's pageant there is presented no monster.
Not nothing monstrous neither?
Nothing but our undertakings. When we vow to weep seas, live in fire, eat rocks, tame tigers, thinking it harder for our mistress to devise imposition enough than for us to undergo any difficulty imposed. This is the monstrosity in love, lady, that the will is infinite and the execution confined, that the desire is boundless and the act a slave to limit.
They say all lovers swear more performance than they are able, and yet reserve an ability that they never perform, vowing more than the perfection of 10 and discharging less than the 10th part of 1. They that have the voice of lions and the acts of hares, are they not monsters?
Are there such? Such are not we. Praise us as we are tasted, allow us as we prove. Our head shall go bare till merit crown it. No perfection in reversion shall have a praise in present. We will not name desert before his birth, and being born, his addition shall be humble. Few words to fair faith. Troylus shall be such to Cressida, as what envy can say worst shall be a mock for his truth, and what truth can speak truest, not truer than Troylus.
Will you walk in, my lord?
What, blushing still? Have you not done talking yet?
Well, uncle, what folly I commit, I dedicate it to you.
I thank you for that. If my lord gets a boy of you, you'll give him me. Be true to my lord. If he flinch, chide me for it.
You know now your hostages, your uncle's word and my firm faith.
Nay, I'll give my word for her too. Our kindred, though they be long ere they are wooed, they are constant being one. They are burrs, I can tell you. They'll stick where they are thrown.
Boldness comes to me now, and brings me heart. Prince Troylus, I have loved you night and day for many weary months.
Why was my Cressida then so hard to win?
Hard to seem one, but I was one, my lord. With the first glance that ever... Pardon me. If I confess much, you will play the tyrant. I love you now, but not till now so much, but I might master it. In faith I lie. My thoughts were like unbridled children grown too headstrong for their mother. See, we fools, why have I blabbed? Who shall be true to us when we are so unsecret to ourselves? But though I loved you well, I wooed you not. And yet, good faith, I wished myself a man, or that we women had men's privilege of speaking first. Sweet, bid me hold my tongue, for in this rapture I shall surely speak the thing I shall repent. See your silence, cunning and dumbness. From my weakness draws my soul of counsel from me. Stop my mouth.
Oh, and shall, albeit sweet music issues thence.
Pretty, Ife.
My lord, I do beseech you pardon me. 'Twas not my purpose thus to beg a kiss. I am ashamed. Oh, heavens, what have I done? For this time will I take my leave, my lord.
Oh, your leave, sweet Cressida.
Leave, and you take your leave till tomorrow morning.
Pray you, content you.
What offends you, lady?
Sir, mine own company.
You cannot shun yourself.
Let me go and try. I have a kind of self resides with you, but an unkind self that itself will leave to be another's fool. Where's my wit? I would be gone, I speak I know not what.
Oh, well, know they what they speak that speak so wisely.
Perchance, my lord, I shew more craft than love, and fell so roundly to a large confession to angle for your thoughts. But you are wise, or else you love me not, for to be wise in love exceeds man's might, that dwells with gods above.
Oh, that I thought it could be in a woman. As if it can, I will presume in you to feed for aye her rampant flames of love, to keep her constancy in plight and youth, outliving beauties outward with a mind that doth renew swifter than blood decays. Or that persuasion could but thus convince me that my integrity and truth to you might be affronted with the match and weight of such a winnowed purity and love. How were I then uplifted? But alas, I am as true as truth's simplicity and simpler than the infancy of truth.
In that I'll war with you.
Oh, virtuous fight! When right with right wars, who shall be most right? The true swains in love shall in the world to come approve their truths by Troylus, when their rhymes full of protests, of oaths, and bid compare want similes. Truth, tired with iteration, as true as steel, as plantage to the moon, as sun to day, as turtle to her mate, as iron to adamant, as earth to the center, yet after all comparisons of truth, as truth's authentic author to be cited, as true as Troylus shall crown upon the verse and sanctify the numbers.
Prophet may you be. If I be false, or swerve a hair from truth, when time is old and hath forgot itself, when water drops have worn the stones of Troy, and blind oblivion swallowed cities up, and mighty states characterless are graded to dusty nothing, yet let memory, from false to false among false maids in love, upbraid my falsehood, when they have said as false as air, as water, as wind, as sandy earth, as fox to lamb, as wolf to heifer's calf, pard to the hind, or stepdame to her son. Yea, let them say, to stick the heart of falsehood, as false as Cressida.
Go to, a bargain made. Seal it, seal it. I'll be the witness here. I hold your hand. Hear, my cousins, if you ever prove false to one another, since I have taken such pains to bring you together, let all pitiful goers between be called to the world's end after my name. Call them all panders. Let all constant men be Troylus, all false women Cressids, and all brokers between panders. Well, say amen.
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 Amen. Whereupon I will show you a chamber, which bed, because it shall not speak of your pretty encounters, press it to death. Away, and Cupid grant all tongue-tied maidens here bed, chamber, and pander to provide this gear.
And there, ladies and gentlemen, we shall take a break. It is now 2:43, so we will start again at exactly 3 o'clock, because I think that everybody needs a break before we get on with the next 90 minutes of the play.
Look, we're just going to find out if they got it together.
It's only 2:43 where you...
Yes.
It's only 2:43 where you are.
Yes. Well, we are in many different time zones here.
We are indeed.
Yes, we are. Ben, I wish to commend you on your musical performance.
Wasn't it great?
Quite spectacular.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good man.
That was really great.
Good man.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Thank you. It was fun to do.
Did you make up the tune or did you find it somewhere?
Oh, there was a tune.
Oh, bullshit.
You see, this is the reason I was in therapy so many years.
Bullied by your friends?
Stephen was my counselor at a music and drama camp when I was about 13 years old, and this is the kind of comments I would get, and it's very damaging.
You were 13 years old once?
I had hair back then, too.
I wondered about that.
I thought you were Lex Luthor forever.
I used to, as a matter of fact, Steve sent pictures from those days. Oh my God, not only did I have hair, but it was the 70s. I mean,
oh my God, yeah.
Well, it wasn't so much the hair, it was the very, very thick black-rimmed glasses.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I had those as well. And the hair. God, it was embarrassing.
I look at those pictures. Yeah, it's a little. I didn't recognize myself in one. I had to ask Steve, "Is that what I looked like?"
Well, I don't recognize myself from those pictures either.
That's true. That's true.
Well, I turned up at the University of Illinois agronomy department. If you can imagine a more hardcore Midwestern hole in the world, that's it. And with long hair and an army combat jacket, and they sort of looked at me and wondered what the hell they'd employed.
And why is he talking so funny?
Yeah,
yeah.
It wasn't the outfit; it was the accent.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
Why
did
were
you
you there?
Did you use your RP or did you use your Scots accent?
No, I became even more RP than usual.
Ah.
Actually, what were you doing there? Paula asked. It's good. How did you end up in the middle?
Money!
Oh.
I got offered an associate professorship at the U of I.
Oh. How did they find you?
Yeah, no, I can't remember now, looking back, whether I actually applied or whether I got headhunted. But I mean, you know, I got a trip over to Urbana, Illinois, and they interviewed me, and they still employed me.
Did you used to have Steve mentioned a different? Did you have a Scottish burr at some point?
Originally, yes.
Oh,
I've told people that when I started acting back in the 60s, nobody with a regional accent could get any work. So you had to go RP.
That's right.
So, you could go around the world doing productions of Macbeth.
Well, that is true. No, in those days, they didn't want Macbeth to speak with a Scottish accent. They didn't want anybody to do that, you know, so I sort of lost it and it went. I tell you, in Illinois, it used to get a bit wearing. You'd go into McDonald's to get some food and you'd get this little Southern belle saying, well, hey, I just love your accent. Could you say something more? Oh.
You didn't like that? I like when pretty girls go, oh, I love that thing you do.
Yeah, the first 2 or 3 times was really cool. Then after it got a little wearing.
I would point out, Ben, that we are being recorded.
Oh, sorry. That's true. Yeah.
Muted it or something while we're doing this. The audience gets
about accents. I'm glad. Speaking about accents, I'm actually glad to see Oscar was able to join us after his Wi-Fi trouble earlier.
Sorry.
Angus, can you show us? I'm sorry to be one of those girls in the McDonald's, but can you show us what you sounded like back then?
No, I sounded pretty much the same as I did now because I went very English, having kicked most of my Scottish accent, unless I was around my dad back in Edinburgh or talking to my relatives back in Edinburgh. I sounded pretty much RP by then.
Well, but can you show us what you sounded like when you talked?
Could I have 2 hamburgers and a large fries, please?
So how would you say that if you were talking to your father in Edinburgh?
Can I have 2 hamburgers and a large fries, please?
Wonderful. Yes. I love accents, and I've never been able to nail a Scottish. It's very hard.
No, I always thought the Scottish accent was quite easy to do. But having heard so many people try it, I begin to realize it's not as easy as I thought it was.
No, it is tricky. There's a weird thing with the word left, L-E-F-T.
Left.
Yeah.
Left.
You do it.
Well, the advantage is that because of the Scots, we have many more sounds than the English do. In the same way that the Welsh have many more sounds, even more sounds than the Scots do. They've got the double L, which is pronounced
no, it's cla.
Yeah.
Llangollen.
Yeah.
Oh, I come from Llangollen.
My favorite line is Undermilt Wood. It's Carnet Llywelyn, beauty born, Plynlim on old in story.
But they didn't do that on the Richard Burton recording I heard of it.
No. Well, I actually got an album, an old LP, God save me, of the original broadcast of it that Dylan Thomas did when he went to New York.
At the beginning.
Yeah, that's right. It was done by the 92nd Street Y. And that was the very first performance of Undermilt Wood that had ever been done. And some bright spark, thank God, had a tape recorder and stuck a microphone up and recorded it. And it's available on album and so. And it's, you know, well, it's like, you know, in Staged where, David Tennant says, when the other guy says, let me go empty in this long dark night, whatever. He says, what was it in the original Welsh? And he says, what do you mean? Well, the original Welsh. wasn't it translated? And he looks at him as if he'd crawled out of a stone somewhere. Dylan Thomas's voice was very much like the declamatory poets of the time.
And
It
of
was
course,
very-
Angus, yes, Angus, like any other foreigner, mispronounces the poet's name.
What is it?
In Welsh, is Dylan Thomas.
Dylan Thomas.
Dylan Thomas.
Dylan Thomas. Oh, good. I shall remember that.
Oh, you'll remember that, will you?
Oh, yeah. The man was a genius.
We're going to have an accent festival tomorrow.
Oh, God, yes. That's going to be interesting.
I was going to say,
everyone pick a country, and that's what you come in as.
Yeah. Yeah, David.
For those who aren't involved, tomorrow there's going to be a birthday reading for David Sita, whose birthday it is tomorrow.
Yay!
Oh.
And he's doing Ben Jonson's Bartholomew Fair, which is actually longer than a blended Hamlet and certainly not as funny.
Oh, we are taking a cut.
Well, Stephen, it does depend on how you play it.
Oh, it depends if you do it really slowly.
Oh, God, no. We'll be there for all night. I mean, you know.
That's true. I have to admit. Angus.
You've done it? Somebody's done it? Did I hear somebody say they'd actually done
We did a reading of it with the Shaw Project of all things, but this was about back in the 1990s. So
yeah. I'm still trying to work out whether Wolfe is a low-class servant or an upper-class. He seems to be more aware and intellectually aware of literature and political things.
Yeah.
So I suspect he's not quite as low-class as I originally had thought.
I think it's just a question. Where in Scotland were you born?
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Oh, yeah.
Aye. Oh, aye.
Gorgeous city. Gorgeous city.
Oh, it is.
I used to love this. There's a of all things, not a chock full of nuts. What is it? Anyway, there's right across on Princess Street, across from the hill.
Yeah.
Where the castle is, and I could sit there and have a meal and watch the lights come on over the castle. It was lovely.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah.
My grandfather was born in the Orkney Islands.
Ooh.
Yeah, way up there.
Yeah, my cousin is up in the Shetlands. He used to, he's retired now, but he used to run the major hotel and the liquor importing business for the whole of the Shetlands.
Well, that's even further north.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we go back quite a way. Well, I mean, I think all cedars basically emanate from that area originally. I was doing a little research, just poking around with my own name, and I came across a David Cedar who was in the Orkney Islands. This is mentioned in somebody else's diary because they had a bet on.
Mrs. Dale's diary.
He was the bellman of Kirkwall.
Oh,
and
gosh.
Yeah, and they had a bet. He had a bet with this other chap about how large a certain cannonball was that hit the castle. And the entry was the diary was something like February 1686 or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, recently.
Yeah. Well, relatively speaking.
Yeah, I actually moving slightly from accents into languages. Has anybody else seen the Netflix series Barbarians, which is all about the Battle of the Teutoburg Forest in Germany? What is interesting is all of the barbarians are the Germanic tribes, and they speak in German, and they fight 3 legions of Romans. And in this TV series, the Romans all speak Latin. And which is, it's really interesting. I mean, it's not the Latin that I learned because they do, Veni Vidi Vici rather than Veni Vidi Vici. But I mean, it's really interesting. And what is absolutely fascinating is all of these actors, who I presume are Hungarian or German, all speak the Latin fluently. I mean, it actually sounds like a real language rather than something that one is learning very slowly and difficultly at school.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Do you think that might be easy to learn something phonetically like that? If it's a language that's completely still like as if you don't have to know what it is you're actually saying, or.
But I think, don't you
I don't
think?
know, like what they did in.
Well, I suppose if you're, being speared by a German.
It's hard to think of conjugations when there's a broadsword going through your shoulder. Yeah.
Well, I think that's what's known as declining, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. But this is one of the problems of theatre. American actors using English accents. I've seen so many shows in New York where the focus was so heavily on trying to get the words to sound right, they forgot about the meaning of them.
I just want to interrupt Angus long enough to say, ladies and gentlemen, 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Because I want to begin on time, yeah.
And I would personally much prefer a slightly sloppier accent with someone who actually bedded themselves down into the sense of what they're saying.
Yeah, but the only thing worse than hearing American actors trying to speak with English accents is trying to hear English actors speaking with American accents.
Oh God! Well, no, it's got.
That's lovely.
It's got
so many.
It has
there are
got
so many bad horror movies where they have like young British actors and their accent just slips all the time, and it just becomes a game to find out which bad movies like they hire British actors for like clout, maybe, I don't know, and then they're trying to do an American accent.
No, normally
British
we'll do it
actors
for a
doing-
couple of hamburgers, burgers, and large fries.
Worst is
the thing
Kevin
with
Costner's Robin Hood, though. It's got to be the worst.
Oh God! Get out!
With the British actors doing American accents, like what I notice is that like they have the accent right, but like their pronunciation is like too good. So like when they say what, like what.
Yeah.
No.
Well, yeah. You see, we have consonants in England. Americans don't have consonants.
Yes.
Not the crisp consonants.
Right. All of English just sounds like a Pearl Jam song. It's just all vowels all the time. Yeah.
But when I saw Guys and Dolls at the National Theatre in London, they really did the New York accents very well.
Is that the one with Bob Hoskins?
Yeah, well, he wasn't in it by the time I saw it. I saw Bernard Cribbins do it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You saw Bernard Cribbins? My God!
Yeah.
That's fabulous. But the thing is that
anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do 1 minute. So may I perhaps ask everybody to switch off, ready to come back on for
You got it.
The Greeks? Yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll begin in a moment.
Why does my picture say Paris?
Is that where you are?
No, somebody's. I'm going to go try to fix this.
I think it might be that you opened the link that went to Paris. Well, maybe not.
Okay.
I think you opened the link that Daniel sent.
No, didn't mean to. Anyway, I'm off.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if we can begin, please. Asher, if you are with us, yes.
Now, princes, for the service I have done you, the advantage of the time prompts me aloud to call for recompense. Appear it to your mind that through the sight I bear in things to love, I have abandoned Troy, left my possession, incurred a traitor's name, exposed myself from certain and possessed conveniences to doubtful fortunes, sequestering from me all that time, acquaintance, custom, and condition made tame and most familiar to
have
me.
a couple of hamburgers now.
And here to do you service and become as new into the world, strange, unacquainted. I do beseech you, as in way of taste, to give me now a little benefit out of those many registered in promise which you say live to come in my behalf.
What wouldst thou of us, Troyan, make demand?
You have a Trojan prisoner called Antenor, yesterday took. Troy holds him very dear. Often have you, thanks therefore, desired my Cressida in right great exchange, whom Troy hath still denied. But this Antenor, I know, is such a rest in their affairs that their negotiations all must slack, wanting his manage. And they will almost give us a prince of blood, a son of Priam, in change of him. Let him be sent, great princes, and he shall buy my daughter, and her presence shall quite strike off all service I have done in most accepted pain.
Let Diomedes bear him and bring us Cressida hither. Calchas shall have what he requests of us. Good Diomed, furnish you fairly for this interchange. Withal, bring word if Hector will tomorrow be answered in his challenge. Ajax is ready.
This shall I undertake, and 'tis a burthen which I am proud to bear.
Achilles stands in the entrance of his tent. Pleased it our general to pass strangely by him, as if he were forgot, and princes all lay negligent and loose regard upon him. I will come last. 'Tis like he'll question me. Why such unplausive eyes are bent? Why turned on him? If so, I have derision medicinable to use between your strangeness and his pride, which his own will shall have desire to drink. It may do good. Will shall have desire to drink. It may do to show itself, but pride for supple need feed arrogance under the proud man's fees.
We'll execute your purpose and put on a form of strangeness as we pass along. So do each lord and either greet him not or else disdainfully, which shall shake him more than if not looked on. I will lead the way.
What? Comes the general to speak with me? You know my mind. I'll fight no more against Troy.
What says Achilles? Would he aught with us?
Would you, my lord, aught with the general?
No.
Nothing, my lord.
The better.
Good day. Good day.
How do you? How do you?
What? Does the cuckold scorn me?
How now, Patroclus?
Good morrow, Ajax.
Ah.
Good morrow.
Aye, and good next day, too.
What means these fellows? Know they not Achilles?
They pass by strangely. They were used to bend to send their smiles before them to Achilles, to come as humbly as they'd used to creep to holy altars.
What, am I poor of late? 'Tis certain greatness once fallen out with fortune must fall out with men too. What the declined is, he shall as soon read in the eyes of others as feel in his own fall. For men, like butterflies, show not their mealy wings but to the summer. And not a man for being simply man hath any honor, but honored for those honors that are without him, as place, riches, and favor, prizes of accident as oft as merit, which when they fall as being slippery standers, the love that leaned on them as slippery too, doth one pluck down another and together die in the fall. But 'tis not so with me. Fortune and I are friends. I do enjoy at ample point all that I did possess, save these men's looks, who do methinks find out something not worth in me such rich beholding as they have often given. Here is Ulysses. I'll interrupt his reading. How now, Ulysses?
'Tis now, great Thetis' son.
What are you reading?
A strange fellow here writes me that man, how dearly ever parted, how much in having or without or in, cannot make boast to have that which he hath, nor feels not what he owes, but by reflection, as when his virtue shining upon others, heat them, and they retort that heat again to the first giver.
This is not strange, Ulysses. The beauty that is born here in the face, the bearer knows not, but commends itself, not going from itself, but eye to eye opposed, salutes each other with each other's form, for speculation turns not to itself till it hath travailed, and is married there where it may see itself. This is not strange at all.
I do not strain it at the position. It is familiar. But at the author's drift, who in his circumstance expressly proves that no May is the lord of anything, though in and of him there is much consisting, till he communicate his parts to others, nor doth he of himself know them for aught, till he behold them formed in the applause where they are extended, who are like an arch reverberate, the voice again, or like a gate of steel fronting the sun, receives and renders back his figure and his heat. I was much wrapped in this, and apprehended him immediately, the unknown Ajax. Heavens, what a man is there! A very horse that has he knows not what. Nature, what things there are, most abject in regard and dear in use. What things again most dear in the esteem and poor in worth. Now shall we see tomorrow an act that very chanced to throw on him Ajax renowned? Oh heavens, what some men do while some men leave to do, how some men creep in skittish fortune's hall, whilst others play the idiots of their eyes, how one man eats into another's pride, while pride is feasting in his wantonness to see these Grecian lords. Why, even already they clap lubber Ajax on the shoulder, as if his foot were on brave Hector's breast, and great Troy shrinking.
I do believe it, for they passed by me as misers do by beggars, neither gave to me good word nor look. What? Are my deeds forgot?
No time hath, my lord, a wallet at his back, wherein he puts alms for oblivion. A great-sized monster of ingratitude, who scraps at good deeds past, which are devoured as fast as they are made, forgot as soon as done. Perseverance, dear my lord, keeps honour bright. To have done is to hang, quite out of fashion, like a rusty mail in monumental mockery. Take the instant away, for honour travels in a strait so narrow where one but goes abreast. Keep then the path, for emulation hath 1,000 sons, that one by one pursue. If you give way or hedge aside from that direct forthright, like to an entered tide, they all rush by and leave you hindmost. Or like a gallant horse fallen in his first rank, lie there for pavement to the abject, near o'errun and trampled on. And what they do in present, though less than yours in past, must o'ertop yours. For time is like a fashionable host that slightly shakes his parting guest by the hand, and with his arms outstretched as he would fly, grasps in the commoner. The welcome ever smiles, and farewells go out sighing. Oh, let not virtue seek remuneration for the thing it was, for beauty, wit, high birth, vigour of bone, desert in service, love, friendship, charity, a subject all to envious and calumniating time. One touch of nature makes the whole world kin, that all with one constant praise newborn gauds. till they are made and moulded of things past, and go to dust. That is a little guilt, more lord than guilt o'er-dusted. The present eye praises the present object. Then marvel not, thou great and complete man, that all the Greeks begin to worship Ajax. Since things in motion begin to catch the eye, then what not stirs? The cry went out on thee, and still it might, and yet it may again, if thou wouldst not entomb thyself alive and cast thy reputation in thy tent, whose glorious deeds, but in the fields of late, made emulous missions mongst the gods themselves, and drave great Mars to faction.
Of this, my privacy, I have strong reasons.
But 'gainst your privacy, the reasons are more potent and heroical. 'Tis known, Achilles, that you are in love with one of Priam's daughters.
Huh? Known?
Is that a wonder? The providence that's in a watchful state knows almost every grain of Pluto's gold, finds bottom in the uncomprehensive deeps, keeps place with thought, and almost like the gods do thoughts unveil in their dumb cradles. There is a mystery, with whom relation dost never meddle, in the soul of state, which hath an operation more divine than breath or pen can give expression to. All the commerce that you have had with Troy as perfectly is ours as yours, my lord. And better would it fit Achilles' much to throw down Hector than Polyxena. But it must grieve young Pyrrhus now at home, when fame shall in her island sound her trump, and all the Greekish girls shall tripping sing, great Hector's sister did Achilles win. But our great Ajax bravely beat down him. Farewell, my lord. I, as your lover, speak. The fool slides o'er the ice that you should break.
To this effect, Achilles, have I moved you. A woman impudent and mannish grown is not more loath than an effeminate man in time of action. I stand condemned for this. They think my little stomach to the war, and your great love to me, restrains you thus. Sweet, rouse yourself, and the weak wanton Cupid shall from your neck unloose his amorous fold, and like a dewdrop from the lion's mane be shook to airy air.
Now shall Ajax fight with Hector.
Aye, and perhaps receive much honor by him.
I see my reputation is at stake. My fame is shrewdly gored.
Oh, then beware. These wounds heal ill that men do give themselves. Omission to do what is necessary seals a commission to a blank of danger, and danger, like an ague, subtly taints even then when we sit idly in the sun.
Go call Thersites hither, sweet Patroclus. I'll send the fool to Ajax and desire him to invite the Trojan lords after the combat to see us here unarmed. I have a woman's longing, an appetite that I am sick withal, to see great Hector in his weeds of peace, to talk with him, and to behold his visage, even to my full of view. Ah, a labor saved.
A wonder.
What?
Ajax goes up and down the field asking for himself.
How so?
He must fight singly tomorrow with Hector, and is so prophetically proud of an heroical cudgeling that he raves in saying nothing.
How can that be?
Why, he stalks up and down like a peacock, astride in a stand, ruminates like an hostess that hath no arithmetic but her brain to set down her reckoning, bites his lip with a politic regard, as who should say, there were wit in his head, and twit out, and so there is, but it lies as coldly in him as flint as fire in a flint, which will not show without knocking. The man's undone forever. For if Hector break not his neck in the combat, he'll break himself in vainglory. He knows not me. I said, good morrow, Ajax. And he replies, thanks, Agamemnon. What think you of this man that takes me for the general? He's grown a very landfish, languageless, a monster, a plague of opinion. A man may wear it on both sides like a leather jerkin.
Thou must be my ambassador to him, Thersites.
Who, I? Why, he'll answer nobody. He professes not answering. Speaking is for beggars. He wears his tongue in his arms. I will put on his presence. Let Patroclus make demands of me. You shall see the pageant of Ajax.
To him, Patroclus, tell him, I humbly desire the valiant Ajax to invite the most valorous Hector to come unarmed to my tent and to procure safe conduct for his person of the magnanimous and most illustrious 6 or 7 times honored captain, general of the Grecian army, Agamemnon, etc. Do this.
Jove bless great Ajax. I come from the worthy Achilles, who most humbly desires you to invite Hector to his tent, and to procure safe conduct from Agamemnon.
Agamemnon?
Aye, my lord. What say you to it?
God buy you with all my heart.
Your answer, sir?
If tomorrow be a fair day, by 11 o'clock it will go one way or another. Howsoever, he shall pay ere he has me.
Your answer, sir?
Fare you well with all my heart.
Why, but he is not in this tune, is he?
No, but he's out of tune thus. What music will be in him when Hector has knocked out his brains? I know not, but I am sure none, unless the fiddler Apollo get his sinews to make cattlings on.
Come, thou shalt bear a letter to him straight.
Let me carry another to his horse, for that's the more capable creature.
My mind is troubled like a fountain stirred, and I myself see not the bottom of it.
Would the fountain of your mind were clear again, that I might water an ass in it. I had rather be a tick in a sheep than such a valiant ignorance.
See, who is that there?
It is the Lord Aeneas.
Is the prince there in person? Had I so good occasion to lie long as you, Prince Paris, nothing but heavenly business should rob my bedmate of my company.
That's my mind too. Good morrow, Lord Aeneas.
Valiant Greek Aeneas, take his hand, witness the process of your speech within. You told how Diomed in a whole week by days did haunt you in the field.
Health to you, valiant sir. During all question of the gentle truce, but when I meet you armed, as black defiance as heart can think or courage execute.
The one and the other, Diomed, embraces. Our bloods are now in calm, and so long health. But when contention and occasion meets, by Jove, I'll play the hunter for thy life, with all my force, pursuit, and policy.
And thou shalt hunt a lion that will fly with his face backward. In humane gentleness, welcome to Troy. Now by Anchises' life, welcome indeed. By Venus' hand I swear, no man alive can love in such a sort the thing he means to kill more excellently.
We sympathize. Jove, let Aeneas live, if to my sword his fate be not the glory. 1,000 complete courses of the sun. But in mine emulous honor let him die, with every joint a wound, and that tomorrow.
We know each other well.
We do, and long to know each other worse.
This is the most despiteful, gentle greeting. The noblest, hateful love that e'er I heard of. What business, lord, so early?
I was sent for to the king, but why I know not.
His purpose meets you. It was to bring this Greek to Calchas' house, and there to render him for the enfreed Antenor, the fair Cressida. Let us have your company, or if you please, haste there before us. I constantly do think, or rather call my thought a certain knowledge, my brother Troylus lodges there tonight. Rouse him and give him note of our approach, with the whole quality whereof I fear we shall be much unwelcome.
That I assure you. Troylus had rather Troy were born to Greece than Cressida born from Troy.
There is no help. The better disposition of the time will have it so. On, Lord, we'll follow you.
Good morrow, all.
And tell me, noble Diomed, faith, tell me true, even in the soul of sound good fellowship, who in your thoughts merits fair Helen most? Myself or Menelaus?
Both alike. He merits well to have her, that doth seek her, not making any scruple of her sawyer, with such a hell of a pain and world of charge. And you as well to keep her, that defend her, not palating the taste of her dishonor, with such a costly loss of wealth and friends. He, like a puling cuckold, would drink up the lees and dregs of a flat-tamed peace. You, like a lecher, out of whorish loins, are pleased to breed out your inheritors, both merits poised, each weighs no less or more, but he, as he, which heavier for a whore.
You are too bitter to your countrywoman.
She's bitter to her country. Hear me, Paris. For every false drop in her bawdy veins, a Grecian's life hath sunk. For every scruple of her contaminated carrion weight, a Trojan hath been slain. Since she could speak, she hath not given so many good words breath. As for her, Greeks and Trojans have suffered death.
Fair Diomed, you do as chapmen do. 'Tis dispraise the thing that you desire to buy. But we in silence hold this virtue well. We'll not command what we intend to sell. Here lies our way.
Dear, trouble not yourself, the morn is cold.
Then, sweet my lord, I'll call mine uncle down. He shall unbolt the gates.
Oh, trouble him not. To bed, sleep, kill those pretty eyes, and give a soft attachment to thy senses as infants empty of all thought.
Good morrow, then.
I prithee now, to bed.
Are you aweary of me?
Oh, Cressida, but that the busy day was by the lark hath roused the ribald crows, and dreaming night will hide our eyes no longer, I would not from thee.
Night hath been too brief.
Beshrew the witch. With venomous wights she stays as hideously as hell, but flies the grasps of love with wings more momentary, swift than thought. You will catch cold and curse me.
Prithee, tarry. You men will never tarry. Oh, foolish Cressida! I might have still held off, and then you would have tarried. Hark, there's one up.
What? All the doors open here?
It's your uncle.
Pestilence on him. Now he will be mocking. I shall have such a life.
How now? How go maidenheads? Here, you maid. Well, where's my cousin Cressida?
Well, hang yourself, you naughty mocking uncle. You bring me to do, and then you flout me too.
Do what? To do what? Let her say what? What have I brought you to do?
Come, beshrew your heart. You'll ne'er be good nor suffer others.
Ha! Alas, poor wretch, a poor Chipokia, hast not slept tonight. Would he not, a naughty man, let it sleep? A bugbear take him.
Did not I tell you? Would he were a knock in the head. Who's that at the door? A good uncle, go and see. My lord, come you again into my chamber? You smile and mock me as if I meant naughtily. Come, you are deceived. I think of no such thing. Now, earnestly they knock. Pray you come in. I would not for half Troy have seen you here.
Who's there? What's the matter? Will you beat down the door? How now? What's the matter?
Good morrow, lord. Good morrow.
Who's there? My lord Aeneas? By my troth, I knew you not. What news with you so early?
Is not Prince Troylus here?
Here? What should he do here?
Come, he is here, my lord. Do not deny him. It does import him much to speak with me.
Is he here, say you? 'Tis more than I know, I'll be sworn. For mine own part, I came in late. What should he do here?
Who? Nay then, come, you'll do him wrong. Ere you're aware, you'll be so true to him to be false to him. Do not know of him, but go fetch him hither. Go!
Oh no, what's the matter?
My lord, I scarce have leisure to salute you. My matter is so rash. There is at hand Paris, your brother, and Deiphobus, the Grecian Diomed, and our Athena. Deliver to us, and for him forthwith, ere the first sacrifice, within this hour, we must give up to Diomed's hand the Lady Cressida.
Is it concluded so?
By Priam and the general state of Troy, they are at hand and ready to effect it.
Oh, how my achievements mock me! I will go meet them, and my lord Aeneas, we met by chance. You did not find me here.
Good, my lord. The secrets of nature have not more gift in taciturnity.
Is't possible? No sooner got but lost? The devil take Antenor. The young prince will go mad. A plague upon Antenor! I would they has broke his neck.
Now, what's the matter? Who's here? Why sigh you so profoundly? Where's my lord? Gone? Tell me, sweet uncle, what's the matter?
Would I were as deep under the earth as I am above.
Oh, the gods, what's the matter?
Prithee, get in. Would thou hadst ne'er been born, I knew thou wouldst be his death. Oh, poor gentleman. Plague upon Antenor!
Good uncle, I beseech you, on my knees, I beseech you, what's the matter?
Thou must be gone, wench, thou must be gone. Thou art changed for Antenor. Thou must to thy father, and be gone from Troylus. 'Twill be his death, 'twill be his bane. He cannot bear it.
Oh, you immortal gods, I will not go.
Thou must.
I will not, uncle. I have forgot my father. I know no touch of consanguinity, no kin, no love, no blood, no soul, no near me as the sweet Troylus. Oh, you gods divine, make Cressida's name the very crown of falsehood if she ever leave Troylus. Time, force, and death do to this body what extremity you can. But the strong base and building of my love is as the very center of the earth, drawing all things to it. I will go in and weep.
Do.
Tear my bright hair and scratch my praised cheeks, crack my clear voice with sobs, and break my heart with sounding Troylus. I will not go from Troy.
It is great morning, and the hour prefixed of her delivery to this valiant Greek comes fast upon. Good my brother Troylus, tell you the lady what she is to do, and hast her to the purpose.
Walk into her house. I'll bring her to the Grecian presently. Into his hand when I deliver her, think it an altar, and thy brother Troylus a priest, there offering to it his heart.
I know what 'tis to love, and would as I shall pity I could help. Please you walk in, my lords.
Be moderate, be moderate.
You tell me of moderation. The grief is fine, full, perfect that I taste, and no less in a sense as strong as it which causeth it. How can I moderate it? If I could temporize with my affection, or brew it to a weak and colder palate, the like allayment could I give my grief. My love admits no qualifying cross, no more my grief in such a precious loss.
Here he comes, a sweet duck.
Oh, Troylus, Troylus!
What a pair of spectacles is here. Let me embrace too. O heart, as the goodly saying is, O heart, heavy heart, why sighest thou without breaking? Where he answers again, because thou canst not ease thy smart by friendship, nor by speaking. There was never a truer rhyme. Let us cast away nothing, for we may live to have need of such a verse. We see it, we see it. How now, my lambs?
Cressida, I love thee in so strange a purity that the blessed gods, as angry with my fancy, more bright in zeal than the devotion which cold lips blow to their deities, take thee from me.
Have the gods envy?
Aye, 'tis too plain a case.
And is it true that I must go from Troy?
A hateful truth.
What? And from Troylus too?
From Troy and Troylus.
Is it possible?
And suddenly, where injury of chance puts back leave-taking, jostles roughly by all time of pause, rudely beguiles our lips of all rejoinder, forcibly prevents our locked embrasures, strangles our dear vows, even in the birth of our own laboring breath. We two, that with so many thousand sighs did buy each other, must poorly sell ourselves, with the rude brevity and discharge of our injurious time. Now with a robber's haste crams his rich thievery up, he knows not how. As many farewells as be stars in heaven, with distinct breath and consigned kisses to them, he fumbles up into a loose adieu, and scants us with a single famished kiss, distasting with the salt of broken tears.
My lord, is the lady ready?
Hark, you are called. Some say the genius so cries. Come to him that instantly must die. Bid them have patience, she shall come anon.
Where are my tears? Rain to lay this wind, or my heart will be blown up by the root.
I must then to the Grecians?
No remedy.
A woeful Cressida amongst the merry Greeks.
When shall we see again? Hear me, my love, be thou but true of heart.
I true? How now, what wicked deem is this?
Nay, we must use expostulation kindly, for it is not parting from us. I speak not to be thou true as fearing thee, for I will throw my glove to death himself. There's no maculation in my heart. Be thou true, say I, to fashion in my sequent protestation. Be thou true, and I will see thee.
You shall be exposed, my lord, to dangers as infinite as imminent. But I'll be true.
And I'll grow friend with danger. Wear this sleeve.
And you this glove. When shall I see you?
I will corrupt the Grecian sentinels to give thee nightly visitation, but yet be true.
Heavens, be true again?
Hear why I speak it, love. The Grecian youths are full of quality. They're loving, well composed, with gift of nature, flowing and swelling one with arts and exercise. How novelties may move in parts with person. Alas, a kind of godly jealousy, which I beseech you call a virtuous sin, makes me afraid.
Oh heavens, you love me not.
Die I a villain then. In this I do not call your faith in question, so mainly as my merit. I cannot sing, nor heal the high lavolt, nor sweeten talk, nor play at subtle games, fair virtues all, to which the Grecians are most prompt and pregnant, but I can tell that in each grace of these there lurks a still and dumb discoursive divil that tempts most cunningly, but be not tempted.
Do you think I will?
No, but something may be done that we will not, and sometimes there are devils to ourselves when we will tempt the frailty of our powers, presuming on their changeful potency.
Nay, good, my lord.
Come, kiss, and let us part.
Brother Troylus.
Good brother, come you hither, and bring Aeneas and the Grecian with you.
My lord, will you be true?
Who, I? Alas, it is my vice, my fault. Whilst others fish with craft for great opinion, I with great truth catch mere simplicity. While some with cunning gild their copper crowns with truth and plainlessness, I wear mine bare. Fear not my truth, the moral of my wit is plain and true. That's the reach of it. Welcome, Sir Diomed. Here is the lady which for Antenor we deliver you. At the port, Lord, I'll give her to thy hand, and by the way possess thee what she is. Entreat her fair, and by my soul, fair Greek, if e'er thou stand at mercy of my sword, name Cressida, and thy life shall be as safe as Priam is in Ilium.
Fair Lady Cressida, so please you save the thanks this prince expects. The luster in your eye, heaven in your cheek, pleads your fair visage. And to Diomed you shall be mistress, and command him wholly.
Grecian, thou dost not use me courteously. To shame the seal of my petition towards I praising her, I tell thee, Lord of Greece, she is as far high soaring o'er thy praises as thou unworthy to be called her servant. I charge thee, use her well, even for my charge. For by the dreadful Pluto, if thou dost not, through the great bulk Achilles be thy guard, I'll cut thy throat.
Oh, be not moved, Prince Troylus. Let me be privileged by my place and message to be a speaker free. When I am hence, I'll answer to my lust. And know, my lord, I'll nothing do on charge. To her own worth she shall be prized. But that you say, be it so. I'll speak it in my spirit and honor no.
Come to the port. I'll tell thee, Diomed, this brave shall oft make thee to hide thy head. Lady, give me your hand, and as we walk to our own selves, bend we our needful talk.
Hark, Hector's trumpet.
How have we spent this morning? The prince must think me tardy and remiss that swore to ride before him in the field.
'Tis Troilus' fault. Come to field with him.
Let us make ready straight.
Yea, with a bridegroom's fresh alacrity, let us address to tend on Hector's heels. The glory of our Troy doth this day lie on his fair worth and single chivalry.
Here art thou an appointment fresh and fair, anticipating time. With starting courage, give with thy trumpet a loud voice to Troy, thou dreadful Ajax, that the appalled air may pierce the head of the great combatant and hail him hither.
Thou trumpet, there's my purse. Now crack thy lungs and split thy brazen pipe. Blow, villain, till thy sphered biased cheek outswell the colic of puffed Aquilon. Come, stretch thy chest, and let thy eyes spout blood. Thou blowest for Hector.
'Tis but early days.
Is not young Diomed with Calchas' daughter?
'Tis he. I ken the manner of his gait. He rises on the toe. That spirit of his in aspiration lifts him from the earth.
Is this the Lady Cressida?
Even she.
Most dearly welcome to the Greeks, sweet lady.
Our general doth salute you with a kiss.
It is the kindness, but particular. 'Twere better she were kissed in general.
And very courtly counsel. I'll begin. So much for Nestor.
I'll take that winter from your lips, fair lady. Achilles bids you welcome.
I had good argument for kissing once.
But that's no argument for kissing now. For thus pops Paris in his hardiment.
O deadly goal, and theme of all our scorns, for which we lose our heads to gild his horns.
The first was Menelaus' kiss, this mine. Patroclus kisses you.
Oh, this is trim.
Paris and I kiss evermore for him.
I'll have my kiss, sir, lady, by your leave. Mwah.
Kissing do you render or receive?
Both take and give.
I'll make my match to live. The kiss you take is better than you give, therefore no kiss.
I'll give you boot. I'll give you 3 for 1.
You are an odd man. Give even or give none.
An odd man, lady. Every man is odd.
No, Paris is not. For you know 'tis true that you are odd and he is even with you.
You fillip me o' the head.
No, I'll be sworn.
It were no match your nail against his horn. May I, sweet lady, beg a kiss of you?
You may.
I do desire it.
Why beg then?
Why then, for Venus' sake, give me a kiss. When Helen is a maid again, and his.
I am your debtor. Claim it when 'tis due.
Never's my day, and then a kiss of you.
Lady, a word. I'll bring you to your father.
A woman of quick sense.
Fie upon her. There's a language in her eye, her cheek, her lip, nay, her foot speaks, her wanton spirits look out at every joint and motive of her body. Oh, these encounterers so glib of tongue that give a coasting welcome ere it comes, and wide unclasp the tables of their thoughts to every tickling. Reader, set them down for sluttish spoils of opportunity and daughters of the game.
The Trojan's
trumpet.
Yonder comes the trumpet, the troop.
Hail, all you state of Greece! What shall be done to him that victory commands? Or do you purpose a victor shall be known? Will you, the knights, shall to the edge of all extremity pursue each other? Or shall be divided by any voice or order of the field? Hector bade ask.
Which way would Hector have it?
He cares not, he'll obey conditions.
'Tis done like Hector, but securely done, a little proudly and a great deal disprising the knight opposed.
If not Achilles, sir, what is your name?
If not Achilles, nothing.
Therefore, Achilles, but whate'er, know this. In the extremity of great and little, valor and pride excel themselves in Hector. The one almost as infinite as all, the other blank as nothing. Weigh him well, and that which looks like pride is courtesy. This Ajax is half made of Hector's blood, in love whereof half Hector stays at home. Half heart, half land, half Hector comes to seek this blended knight, half Trojan and half Greek.
A maiden battle then. Oh, I perceive you.
Here, Sir Diomed, go, gentle knight, stand by our Ajax. As you and Lord Aeneas consent upon the order of their fight, so be it. Either to the uttermost or else a breach. The combatant, being kin, half stints their strife before their strokes begin.
They are opposed already.
What Trojan is that same that looks so heavy?
The youngest son of Priam, a true knight. They call him Troylus. Not yet mature, yet matchless, firm of word, speaking in deeds and deedless in his tongue, not soon provoked, nor being provoked, soon calmed. His heart and hand both open and both free. For what he has, he gives. What thinks, he shows. Yet gives not he not till judgment guide his bounty, nor dignifies an impure thought with breath. Manly is Hector, but more dangerous. For Hector in his blaze of wrath subscribes to tender objects, but he in heat of action is more vindicative than jealous love. They call him Troylus, and on him erect a second hope, as fairly built as Hector. Thus, says Aeneas, one that knows the youth, even to his inches, and with private soul did in great Ilion thus translate him to me.
They are in action.
Now, Ajax, hold thine own.
Hector, thou sleepest, awake thee.
His blows are well disposed there, Ajax.
You must know more.
Princes, enough, so please you.
I'm not warm yet. Let us fight again.
As Hector pleases.
Why then will I know more? Thou art great lord, my father's sister's son, a cousin German to great Priam's seed. The obligation of our blood forbids a gory emulation twixt us twain. Were thy conviction, Greeks and Trojans so, that thou couldst say, this hand is Grecian all, and this is Trojan. The sinews of this leg all Greek, and this all Troy. My mother's blood runs on the dexter cheek, and this sinister bounds in my father's. By Jove, multipotent, thou shouldst not bear me bear for me a Greekish member, wherein my sword had not impressure made of our rank feud. But the just gods gainsay that any drop thou borrowedst from my mother, my sacred aunt, should by my mortal sword be drained. Let me embrace the Ajax. By him that thunders, thou hast lusty arms. Hector would have them fall upon him thus. Cousin, all honor to thee.
I thank thee, Hector. Thou art too gentle and too free a man. I came to kill thee, cousin, and bear hence a great addition earned in thy death.
Not Neoptolemus so mirable, on whose bright crest fame with her loudest, oh yes, cries, this is he, couldst promise to himself a thought of added honor, torn from Hector.
There is expectance here from both the sides. What further you will do?
We'll answer it. The issue is embracement. Ajax, farewell.
If I might in entreaties find success, as seld I have the chance, I would desire my famous cousin to our Grecian tents.
'Tis Agamemnon's wish, and great Achilles doth long to see unarmed the valiant Hector.
Aeneas, call my brother Troylus to me. Signify this loving interview to the expectors of our Trojan part. Desire them home. Give me thy hand, my cousin. I will go eat with thee and see your knights.
Great Agamemnon comes to meet us here.
The worthiest of them. Tell me, name by name, but for Achilles, mine own searching eyes shall find him by his large and portly size.
Worthy of arms, as welcome as to one that would be rid of such an enemy, but that's no welcome. Understand more clear what's past and what's to come is strewed with husks and formless ruin of oblivion. But in this extant moment, faith and troth, strained purely from all hollow bias drawing, bids thee with most divine integrity from heart of very heart, great Hector, welcome.
I thank thee, most imperious Agamemnon.
My well-famed lord of Troy, no less to you.
Let me confer my princely brother's greeting. You race of warlike brothers, welcome hither.
Who must we answer?
The noble Menelaus.
Oh, you, my lord, by Mars, his gauntlet thanks. Mock not that I affect the untraded oath. Your quondam wife swears still by Venus' glove. She's well, but bade me not commend her to you.
Name her not.
Bade me not commend her to you.
Name her not now, sir. She's a deadly theme.
Oh, pardon, I offend.
I have, thou gallant Troyan, seen thee oft laboring for destiny, make cruel way through ranks of Greekish youth. And I have seen thee as hot as Perseus spur thy Phrygian steed, and seen thee scoring forfeits and subduements, when thou hast hung thy advanced sword in the air, not letting it decline on the declined. That I have said unto my standers by, lo, Jupiter is yonder, dealing life. And I have seen thee pause and take thy breath, when that a ring of Greeks have hemmed thee in, like an Olympian wrestling. This have I seen, but this thy countenance, still locked in steel, I never saw till now. I knew thy grandsire, and once fought with him. He was a soldier good, but by great Mars, the captain of us all, never like thee. Let an old man embrace thee, and worthy warrior, welcome to our tents.
Ah, 'tis the old Nestor.
Let me embrace thee, good old Chronicle. That hast so long walked hand in hand with time, most reverend Nestor, I am glad to clasp thee.
I would my arms could match thee in contention, as they contend with thee in courtesy.
I would they could.
Ah, by this white beard, I'd fight with thee tomorrow. Well, welcome, welcome. I have seen the time.
I wonder now how yonder city stands when we have here her base and pillar by us.
I know your favor, Lord Odysseus, well. Ah, sir, there's many a Greek and Troyan dead, since first I saw yourself, and Diomed. In Ilion are your Greekish on your Greekish embassy.
Sir, I foretold you then what would ensue. My prophecy is but half his journey yet, for yonder walls that pertly front your town, yond towers whose wanton tops do bust the clouds, must kiss their own feet.
I must not believe you. There they stand yet, and modestly, I think. The fall of every Phrygian stone will cost a drop of Grecian blood. The end crowns all, and that old common arbitrator time will one day end it.
So to him we leave it. A most gentle and most valiant Hector, welcome. After the general, I beseech you next to feast with me and see me at my tent.
I shall forestall thee, Lord Ulysses, thou. Now, Hector, I have fed mine eyes on thee. I have with exact view perused thee, Hector, and quoted joint by joint.
Is this Achilles?
I am Achilles.
Stand fair, I prithee. Let me look on thee.
Behold thy fill.
Nay, I have done already.
Oh, thou art too brief. I will the second time, as I would by thee, view thee limb by limb.
Like a book of sport thou'lt read me o'er, but there's more in me than thou understandst. Why, dost thou so oppress me with thine eye?
Tell me, you heavens, in which part of his body shall I destroy him? Whether there, or there, or there, that I may give the local wound a name, and make distinct the very breach whereout Hector's great spirit flew. Answer me, heavens.
It would discredit the blessed gods, proud man, to answer such a question. Stand again. Think'st thou to catch my life so pleasantly as to predominate in nice conjecture where thou wilt hit me dead?
I tell thee yea.
Wert thou the oracle to tell me so, I'd not believe thee. Henceforth guard thee well, for I'll not kill thee there, nor there, nor there. But by the forge that stithied Mars his helm, I'll kill thee everywhere. Yea, o'er and o'er. You wisest Grecians, pardon me this brag. His insolence draws folly from my lips, but I'll endeavor deeds to match these words, or may I never.
Do not chafe thee, cousin. And you, Achilles, let these threats alone till accident or purpose bring you to it. You may every day enough of Hector if you have stomach. The general state, I fear, can scarce entreat you to be odd with him.
I pray you, let us see you in the field. We have had pelting wars since you refused the Grecians' cause.
Dost thou entreat me, Hector? Tomorrow do I meet thee fell as death. Tonight all friends.
Thy hand upon that match.
First, all you peers of Greece go to my tent. There in the full convive you. Afterwards, as Hector's leisure and your bounty shall concur together, severally entreat him. Beat loud the tambourines, let the trumpets blow, that this great soldier may his welcome know.
My lord Ulysses, tell me, I beseech you, in what place of the field doth Calchas keep?
At Menelaus' tent, most princely Troylus, there Diomed doth feast with him tonight, who neither looks on heaven nor on earth, but gives all gaze and bent of amorous view on the fair Cressida.
Shall I, sweet lord, be bound to thee so much, after we part from Agamemnon's tent, to bring me thither?
You shall come on me, sir. Oh, as gentle tells me, of what honour was this Cressida in Troy? Had she no lover there that wails her absence?
Oh, sir, to such as boasting show their scars a mock is due. Will you walk on, my lord? She was beloved, she loved, she is, and doth, but still sweet love is food for fortune's tooth.
I'll heat his blood with Greekish wine tonight, which with my scimitar I'll cool tomorrow. Patroclus, let us feast him to the height.
Here comes Thersites.
Ah, how now, thou core of envy! Thou crusty batch of nature, what's the news?
Why, thou picture of what thou seemst, and idol of idiot worshippers, here's a letter for thee.
From whence, fragment?
Why, thou full dish of a fool, from Troy.
Who keeps the tent now?
The surgeon's box or the patient's wound.
Well said, adversity. And what need these tricks?
Prithee be silent, boy, and profit not by thy talk. Thou art thought to be Achilles' male varlet.
Male varlet, you rogue? What's that?
Why, his masculine whore. Now the rotten diseases of the south, guts gripping, ruptures, catters, loads of gravel of the back, lethargies, cold palsies, and the like, take and take again such preposterous discoveries.
Why, thou damnable box of envy, thou! What meanest thou to curse thus?
Do I curse thee?
Why, no, you ruinous butt! You whoreson indistinguishable cur!
No, that why art thou then exasperate? Thou idle immaterial skein of slayed silk, thou green sarcenet flat for a sore eye, thou tassel of prodigals, thou purse, thou. Ah, how the poor world is pestered with such waterflies, diminutives of nature.
Out, Gaul!
Finch egg.
My sweet Patroclus, I am thwarted quite from my great purpose in tomorrow's battle. Here is a letter from Queen Hecuba, a token from her daughter, my fair love, both taxing me, engaging me to keep an oath that I have sworn. I will not break it. If all Greeks fail fame, honor, or go or stay, my major vow lies here. This I'll obey. Come, Thersites, help to trim my tent. This night in banqueting must all be spent. Away, Patroclus.
With too much blood and too little brain, these two may run mad. But if with too much brain and too little blood, they do, I'll be a curer of madmen. Here's Agamemnon, an honest fellow enough and one that loves quails, but he has not so much brain as earwax. And the goodly transformation of Jupiter there, his brother the bull, the primitive statue and oblique memorial of cuckolds, a thrifty shoeing horn in a chain, hanging at his brother's leg. To what form but that he is should with larded malice, wit larded with malice, and malice forced with wit, turn him to an ass were nothing. He's both ass and ox. To an ox were nothing. He's both ox and ass. To be a dog, a mule, a cat, a fichu, a toad, a lizard, an owl, a puttock, or a herring without a roe, I would not care. But to be Menelaus, I would conspire against destiny. Ask me not what I would be, if I were not Thersites. For I care not to be the louse of a Lazar, so I were not Menelaus. Hoide, spirits and fires.
We go wrong. We go wrong.
No, yonder 'tis, there where we see the light.
I trouble you.
No, not a whit.
Here comes himself to guide you.
Welcome, brave Hector. Welcome, princes all.
So now, fair prince of Troy, I bid good night. Ajax commands the guard to tend on you.
Thanks. And good night to the Greeks general.
Good night,
my lord.
Good night, my sweet Menelaus.
Sweet draft, quotha? Sweet sink, sweet shore.
Good night, and welcome both at once to those that go or tarry.
Good night.
Old Nestor tarries, and you too, Diomed, keep Hector company an hour or two.
I cannot, lord. I have important business, the tide whereof is now Good night, great Hector.
Give me your hand.
Follow his torch. He goes to Calchas' tent. I'll keep you company.
Wait, sir, you honor me.
So good night.
Come, come, enter my tent.
That same Diomed's a false-hearted rogue, a most unjust knave. I will no more trust him when he leers than I will a serpent when he hisses. He will spend his mouth and promise, like Brabbler the hound, but when he performs, astronomers foretell it, that it is prodigious. There will come some change. The sun borrows of the moon when Diomed keeps his word. I will rather leave to see Hector than not to dog him. They say he keeps a Trojan drab and uses a traitor Calchas his tent. I'll after. Nothing but lechery. All incontinent varlets.
What are you up here? Ho! Speak!
Who calls?
Diomed. Calchas, I think. Where's your daughter?
She comes to you.
Stand where the torch may not discover us.
Cressida comes forth to him.
How now, my charge?
Now, my sweet guardian, hark a word with you.
Yea, so familiar.
We will sing any man at first sight.
Oh, and any man may find her if he can take her life.
Find her if he can take her life. She's noted.
Will you remember?
Remember? Yes.
Nay, but do then. And let your mind be coupled with your words.
What should she remember?
Sweet honey Greek, tempt me no more to folly.
Roguery.
Nay then.
I'll tell you what.
Ho, come tell a pin. You are a forsworn.
In faith, I cannot. What would you have me do?
A juggling trick to be secretly open.
What did you swear you would bestow on me?
I prithee, do not hold me to mine oath. Bid me do not anything but that, sweet Greek.
Good night.
Oh, patience.
Oh, now, Troyan.
Diomed.
No, good night. I'll be your fool no more.
I better must.
Bark one word in your ear.
Oh, plague and madness.
Oh, move it, prince. Let us depart, I pray you, lest your displeasure should enlarge itself to wrathful terms. This place is dangerous, the time right deadly. I beseech you, go.
Behold, I pray you.
Nay, good my lord, go off. You flow to great distraction. Come, my lord.
I pray thee, stay.
Oh, you have not patience. Come.
I pray you, stay. By hell and hell torments, I will not speak a word.
And so, good night.
You part in anger.
Dost thou grieve that, O withered truth?
Why, how now, lord?
By Jove, I will be patient.
Guardian? Why, Greek?
Fo, adieu, you palter.
In faith, I do not. Come hither once again.
You shake, my lord, at something. Will you go? You will break out.
She strokes his cheek.
Oh, come.
Nay, stay. By Jove, I will not speak a word. There is between my will and all offenses a guard of patience. Stay a little while.
How the devil luxury with his fat rump and potato finger tickles these. Together, fry, lechery, fry.
What will you then?
In faith, I will. Lo, or trust me else.
Give me some token for the surety of it.
I'll fetch
You have sworn patience.
Fear me not, sweet lord. I will not be myself, nor have cognition of what I feel. I am all patience.
Now the pledge. Now.
Here, Diomed, keep the sleeve.
Oh, beauty, where is thy faith?
My lord!
I will be patient. Outwardly, I will.
You look upon that sleeve. Behold it well. He loved me. Oh, false wench, give it to me again!
Whose was it?
It is no matter now, I have it again. I will not meet with you tomorrow night. I prithee, Diomed, visit me no more.
How she sharpens. Well set, whetstone.
I shall have it.
What, this?
Aye, that.
Oh, all you gods! Oh, pretty pledge! My master now lies thinking in his bed of thee and me, and sighs and takes my glove and gives memorial dainty kisses to it as I kiss thee.
Nay, do not snatch it from me.
He that takes my heart withal.
I had your heart before. This follows it.
Oh, I did swear patience.
You shall not have it, Diomed. Faith, you shall not. I'll give you something else.
I will have this. Whose was it?
It is no matter.
Come, tell me whose it was.
'Twas one that loved me better than you will. But now you have it. Take it.
Whose was it?
By all Diana's waiting women yond, and by herself I will not tell you whose.
Tomorrow will I wear it on my helm, and grieve his spirit that dares not challenge it.
Oh, art thou the devil, and worse than on thy horn it should be challenged.
Well, 'tis done. It's past. And yet it is not. I will not keep my word.
Why then farewell. Thou shalt never shalt thou mock Diomed again.
You shall not go. One cannot speak a word, but it straight starts you.
I do not like this fooling.
Nor I by Pluto, but that likes not me, pleases me best.
What shall I come? The hour.
I come. Oh, Jove, do come. I shall be plagued.
Farewell till then.
Good night. I prithee, come. Troylus, farewell. One eye yet looks on thee, but with my heart the other eye doth see. Ah, poor our sex. This fault in us I find, the error of our eye directs our mind. Whatever leads must err. Oh, then conclude. Minds swayed by eyes are full of turpitude.
A proof of strength she could not publish more, unless she say, my mind is now turned whore.
All's done, my lord.
It is.
Why stay we then?
To make a recordation to my soul of every syllable that was spoke. But if I tell how these two did coact, shall I not lie in publishing a truth? Sith yet there is a credence in my heart, an esperance so obstinately strong that doth invert the test of eyes and ears, as if those organs had deceptious functions, created only to calumniate. Was Cressida here?
I cannot conjure, Troyan.
Oh, she was not sure.
Most sure she was.
Why, my negation hath no taste of madness.
Nor mine, my lord. Cressida was here but now.
Let it not be believed for womanhood. Think we had mothers? Do not give advantage to stubborn critics, apt without a theme for deprivation, to square the general sex by Cressida's rule. Rather think this not Cressida.
What hath she done, Prince, that can soil our mothers?
Oh, nothing at all, unless that this were she.
Will he swagger himself on On's own eyes?
This she? No. This is Diomed's Cressida. If beauty have a soul, this is not she. If souls guide vows, if vows are sanctimony, if sanctimony be the god's delight, if there be rule in unity itself, this is not she. Oh, madness of discourse! That cause sets up with and against thyself by foul authority, where reason can revolt without perdition and lose. Assume all reason without revolt. This is and is not Cressida. Within my soul there doth conduce a fight of this strange nature, that a thing inseparate divides more wider than the sky and earth, and yet the spacious breadth of this division admits no orifex for a point as subtle as Ariadne's broken woof to enter. Instance, oh, instance! Strong as Pluto's gates, Cressida is mine, tied with the bonds of heaven. Instance, oh, instance, strong as heaven itself, the bonds of heaven are slipped, dissolved, and loosed, and with another knot 5-finger tied, the fractions of her faith, orts of her love, the fragments, scraps, the bits, and greasy relics of her ore-eaten faith are bound to Diomed.
May worthy Troylus be half attached with that which here his passion doth express?
Aye, Greek. And that shall be divulged well in characters, as red as Mars his heart inflamed with Venus. Never did young man fancy with so eternal and so fixed a soul. Hark, Greek, as much as I do love Cressida, so much by weight hate I her Diomed. That sleeve is mine that he'll bear on his helm. Were it a casque composed by Vulcan's skill, my sword should bite it. Not the dreadful spout which shipmen do the hurricano call, constringing in mass by the almighty fen, shall dizzy with more clamor Neptune's ear in his descent. Then shall my prompted sword falling on Diomed.
He'll tickle it for his concubine.
Oh, Cressida! Oh, false Cressida! False, false, false! Let all untruth stand by thy stained name, and they'll seem glorious.
Oh, contain yourself. Your passion draws ears hither.
I have been seeking you this hour, my lord. Hector by this is arming him in Troy. Ajax, your guard, stays to conduct you home.
With you, prince, my courteous lord. Adieu. Farewell, revolted fair, and Diomed, stand fast and wear a castle on thy head.
I'll bring you to the gates.
Accept distracted thanks.
Would I could meet this rogue Diomed. I would croak like a raven. I would bode. Patroclus will give me anything for the intelligence of this whore. The parrot will not do more for the almond than he for a commodious draught. Lechery. Still wars. And lechery. Nothing else holds the fashion. Burning devil, take them.
When was my lord so much urgently tempered to stop his cares against admonishment? Unarm, and do not fight today.
You train me to offend you. Get you gone. By the everlasting gods, I'll go.
My dreams will sure prove ominous to the day.
No more, I say.
Where is my brother Hector?
Here, sister armed and bloody in intent. Consort with me in loud and dear petition. Pursue we him on knees. For I have dreamt of bloody turbulence. This whole night hath nothing been but shapes and forms of slaughter.
Oh, 'tis true.
Oh? Bid my trumpet sound.
No notes of Sally for the heavens, sweet brother.
Begone, I say. The gods have heard me swear.
The gods are deaf to hot and peevish vows. Their polluted offerings more abhorred than spotted livers in the sacrifice.
Oh, be persuaded. Do not count it wholly to hurt by being just. It is as lawful. For we would count give much to as violent thefts as rob in the behalf of charity.
It is the purpose that makes strong the vow, but vows to every purpose must not hold. A name sweet Hector.
Hold you still, I say. Mine honor keeps the weather of my fate. Life every man holds dear, but the dear man holds honor far more precious dear than life. How now, young man? Meanst thou to fight today?
Cassandra, call my father to persuade.
No, faith, young Troylus. Doff thy harness, youth. I am today in the vein of chivalry. Let grow thy sinews till their knots be strong, and tempt not the brushes of the war. Unarm thee, go, and doubt thou not, brave boy. I'll stand today for thee, and me, and Troy.
Brother, you have a vice of mercy in you, which better fits a lion than a man.
What vice is that? Good Troilus, chide me for it.
When many times the captive Grecian falls, even in the fan and wind of your fair sword, you bid them rise and leave.
Oh, 'tis fair play.
Fool's play! By heaven, Hector!
How now? How now?
For the love of all the gods, let's leave the hermit pity with our mothers. And when we have our armors buckled on, the venomed vengeance ride upon our swords. Spur them to wrathful work, rein them from ruth.
Fie, savage, fie.
Hector, then 'tis wars.
Troilus, I would not have you fight today.
Who should withhold me? Not fate, obedience, nor the hand of Mars. Beckoning with fiery truncheon my retire, not Priam or Hecuba on knees. Their eyes o'ergalled with recourse of tears, nor you, my brother, with your true sword drawn, opposed to hinder me, should stop my way, but by my ruin.
Lay hold upon him, Priam, hold him fast. He is thy crutch now. If thou loose thy stay, thou on him leaning, and all Troy on thee, fall all together.
Come, Hector, come, go back. Thy wife hath dreamt, thy mother hath had visions, Cassandra doth foresee, and I myself am like a prophet suddenly enwrapped to tell thee that this day is ominous. Therefore, come back.
Aeneas is afield, and I do stand engaged to many Greeks, even in the faith of valor, to appear this morning to them.
Aye, but thou shalt not go.
I must not break my faith. You know me dutiful. Therefore, dear sir, let me not shame respect, but give me leave to take that course by your consent and voice, which you do here forbid me, royal Priam.
Oh, Priam, yield not to him.
Do not, dear father.
Andromache, I am offended with you. Upon the love you bear me, get you in.
Foolish, dreaming, superstitious girl makes all these bodements.
Oh, farewell, dear Hector. Look how thou diest. Look how thy eye turns pale. Look how thy wounds doth bleed at many vents. Hark how Troy roars, how Hecuba cries out, how poor Andromache shrills her dolour forth. Behold, distraction, frenzy, and amazement like witless antics one another meet, and all cry, Hector! Hector's dead! Oh, Hector!
Oh, away, away!
Farewell! Yes, soft, Hector, I take my leave. Thou dost thyself and all our Troy deceive.
We're amazed, my liege, at her exclaim. Go in and cheer the town, wheel forth and fight. Do deeds of praise and tell you them at night.
Farewell. The gods with safety stand about thee.
They are at it. Hark, proud Diomed. Believe I come to lose my arm or win my sleeve.
Do you hear, my lord? Do you hear?
What now?
Here's a letter come from yon poor girl.
Let me read.
A whoreson rascally tick so troubles me, and the foolish fortune of this girl. And what one thing, what another, that I shall leave you one of these days. And I have a room in my eyes too, and such an ache in my bones, that unless a man were cursed, I cannot tell what to think on't. What says she there?
Words. Words, mere words, no matter from the heart. The effect doth operate another way. Go, wind to wind, there turn and change together. My love with words and errors she still feeds, but edifies another with her deeds.
Why, but hear you!
Hence, brother lackey, ignominy and shame, pursue thy life, and live I with that name.
Now are they clapper clawing one another, I'll go look on. That dissembling, abominable, varlet Diomede has got the same service, doting, foolish, young knave's sleeve of Troy, there in his help. I would fain see them meet. That same young Trojan ass that loves the whore there might send the Greekish whore-masterly villain with the slave back to the dissembling, luxurious drab of a sleeveless errant. On the other side, the policy of those crafty, swearing rascals that stole old mouse-eaten tried cheese Nestor, and the same dog fucks Ulysses is not proved worth a blackberry. They set me up in policy, that mongrel cur Ajax, against the dog of as bad a kind as Achilles. And now is the cur Ajax prouder than the cur Achilles, and will not arm today. Whereupon the Grecians began to proclaim barbarism, and policy grows in an ill opinion. So here comes the sleeve, and t'other.
Why not? For shouldst thou take the river Styx, I would swim after.
Thou dost miscall retire. I do not fly, but advantageous care withdrew me from the odds of multitude. Have it thee?
Hold at thy whore, Grecian, now for thy whore, Trojan, now the sleeve, now the sleeve.
What art thou, Greek? Art thou for Hector's match? Art thou of blood and honor?
No, I'm a rascal, a scurvy, railing knave, very filthy rogue.
I do believe thee. Live.
Oh, God of mercy, that thou wilt believe me. But plague break thy neck for frightening me. What's become of the wrenching rogues? I think they have swallowed one another. I would laugh at the miracle. Yet, in a sort, lechery eats itself. I'll seek them.
Go, my servant. Take thou Troylus' horse. Present the fair steed to my lady Cressida. Fellow, commend my service to her beauty. Tell her I have chastised the amorous Trojan, and am her knight by proof.
I go, my lord.
Renew the fierce Polydamas hath beat down Menon. Bastard Margellon hath Dorius prisoner, and stands Colossus-wise waving his beam upon the passionate courses of the kings. Epistrophus and Cetus. Polyxene is slain. Amphimachus and Deus deadly hurt, Patroclus ta'en or slain, and Palamedes sore hurt and bruised. The dreadful Sagittaria appalls our numbers. Haste we, Diomed, to reinforcement, or we perish all.
Go, bear Patroclus' body to Achilles, and bid the snail-paced Ajax arm for shame. There's 1,000 Hectors in the field, and here he fights on Gallant his horse, and there he lacks work. Anon he's afoot, and there they fly or die like scaled skulls before the belching whale. Then he is yonder, and there the straying Greeks, ripe for his edge, fall down before him like the mower's swath. Here, there, and everywhere he leaves and takes dexterity, so obeying appetite that what he will he does, and does so much that proof is called impossibility.
Oh, courage, courage, princes! Great Achilles is arming, weeping, cursing, vowing vengeance. Patroclus' wounds have roused his drowsy blood together with his mangled myrmidons. The noiseless, noseless, handless, hacked and chipped, some to him crying on Hector! Ajax hath lost a friend and foams at mouth, and he is armed and at it, roaring for Troylus, who hath done today mad and fantastic execution, engaging and redeeming of himself with such a careless force and forceless care, as if that luck, in a very spite of cunning, had him win all.
Troylus, thou coward, Troylus!
Aye, there!
So we draw together.
Where is this Hector? Come, thy boy queller, show thy face. Know what it is to meet Achilles angry. Hector! Where's Hector? I will none but Hector!
Troylus, thou coward, Troylus, show thy head.
Troylus! I say, where's Troylus?
What wouldst thou?
I would correct him.
Were I the general, thou shouldst have my office ere that correction. Troylus, I say, what Troylus?
O traitor Diomed, turn thy false face, thou traitor, and pay thy life thou owest me for my horse.
Ha! Art thou there?
I'll fight him alone. Stand, Diomed.
He is my prize. I will not look upon.
Oh, come both, you cogging Greeks. Have at you both.
Yea, Troylus. O well fought, my youngest brother.
Now do I see thee. Have at thee, Hector.
Please, if thou wilt.
I do disdain thy courtesy, proud Trojan. Be happy that my arms are out of use. My rest and negligence befriends thee now, but thou anon shalt hear of me again. Till when, go seek thy fortune.
Fare thee well. I would have been much more a fresher man had I expected thee. How now, my brother?
Ajax hath ta'en Aeneas, shall it be? No, by the flame of yonder glorious heaven, he shall not carry him. I'll be ta'en too, or bring him off. Fate, hear me what I say. I reek not, though thou end my life today.
Stand, thou Greek. Thou art a goodly mark. No? Wilt thou not? I like thy armor well. I'll frush it and unlock the rivets all, but I'll be a master of it. Wilt thou not be a beast? Wilt thou not beast abide? Will then fly on? I'll hunt thee for thy hide.
Come hear about me, you my myrmidons. Mark what I say, attend me where I wheel. Strike not a stroke, but keep yourselves in breath. And when I have the bloody Hector found, impale him with your weapons round about. In fellest manner execute your arm. Follow me, sirs, and my proceedings it is decreed, Hector the Great must die.
The cuckold and the cuckold master maker are at it. Now bull, now dog, low. Paris, low. Now my double hen sparrow. Low, Paris, low. The bull has the game. What, war horns, how?
Turn, slave, and fight.
What art thou?
A bastard son of Priam's.
I'm a bastard too. I love bastards. I'm a bastard begot, bastard instructed, bastard in mind, bastard in valor, in everything illegitimate. One bear will not bite another. Wherefore should one bastard take heed? The quarrel's most ominous to us. If the son of a whore fight a whore, he tempts judgment. Farewell, bastard.
The devil take thee, coward!
Fide course, so fair without, thy godly armor thus hath cost my life. Now is my day's work done. I'll take good breath. Rest, sword. Thou hast filled thy fill of blood and death.
Look, Hector, how the sun begins to set. How ugly night comes breathing at his heels, even with the veil and darking of the sun. To close the day up, Hector's day is done.
I am unarmed. Forgo this advantage, Greek.
Strike, fellows! Strike! This is the man I seek! Ugh! So Ilion fall thou! Now Troy sink down! Here lies thy heart, thy sinews and thy bone! On, Myrmidons! Cry you all amain! Achilles hath the mighty Hector slain! Hark! A retreat upon our Grecian part.
Troyan trumpets sound. They're like my lord.
The dragon wing of night o'erspreads the earth, and stickler like the armies separates. My half-supped sword that frankly would have fed, pleased with this dainty bait, thus goes to bed. Come! Tie his body to my horse's tail. Along the field, I will the Trojan trail.
Hark! Hark, what shout is that?
Peace, drums.
Achilles! Achilles, Hector slain. Achilles.
The Brutus, Hector slain, and by Achilles.
If it be so, yet bragless let it be. Great Hector was a man as good as he.
March patiently along. Let one be set to pray Achilles see us at our tent. If in his death the gods have us befriended, great Troy is ours, and our sharp wars are ended.
Be open.
Stand ho, yet are we masters of the field. Never go home. Here starve we out the night.
Oh, Hector is slain.
Hector? The gods forbid.
He's dead. And at the murderer's horse's tail in beastly sort, dragged through the shameful field. Frown on, you heavens. Effect your rage with speed. Sit gods upon your thrones and smile at Troy. I say it once. Let your brief plagues be mercy, and linger not our sure destructions on.
My lord, you do discomfort all the host.
You understand me not that tell me so. I do not speak of flight, of fear, of death, but dare all imminence that gods and men address their dangers in. Hector is gone. Who shall tell Priam so? Or Hecuba? Let him that will a screech owl I be called go into Troy and say there, Hector's dead. There is a word will Priam turn to stone, make wells and Niobes of the maids and wives, cool statues of the youth, and in a word, scare Troy out of itself. But march away. Hector is dead. There is no more to say. Stay yet, you vile, abominable tents, thus proudly piped upon our Phrygian plains. Let Titan rise as early as he dare. I'll through and through you, and though great-sized coward, no space of earth shall sunder our two hates. I'll hunt thee like a wicked conscience still, that moldeth goblins swift as frenzy's thoughts. Strike a free march to Troy. If comfort go, hope of revenge shall hide our inward woe.
Hear you, hear you!
Go hence, broker, lackey, ignominy and shame pursue thy life, and live I with that name.
A goodly medicine for mine aching bones. Oh. World, world, world! This is the poor agent despised. Oh, traitors and bawds, how earnestly you set a work, and how ill requited! Why should our endeavor be so desired, and the performance so loathed? What verse for it? What instance for it? Let me see. Full merrily the humble bee doth sing, till he hath lost his honey and his sting. And being once subdued in armed tale, sweet honey and sweet notes together fail. Good traders in the flesh, set this in your painted clothes. As many as be here of Pandar's hall, your eyes half out, weep out at Pandar's fall. Or if you cannot weep, yet give some groans, though not for me, yet for your aching bones. Brethren and sister of the whole door trade, some 2 months hence, my will shall here be made, Should be now, but that my fear is this: some galled goose of Winchester would hiss. Till then, I'll sweat and seek about for eases, and at that time bequeath you my diseases.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's very hard to follow that. Thank you very much indeed. It's been a very long, but I think very worthwhile afternoon, and I thought the cast was brilliant. So thank you all.
Stephen, what happened to Angus?
I don't know. I haven't heard from him. So, but I'm going to email him now as soon as.
Okay, I don't know.
Yes, I will let you all know when I hear from him. But I suspect that that his Wi-Fi went down as Oscars did earlier. It's Brexit. It screws up everything.
When in doubt, blame Brexit.
That's right.
Hey, Steve.
Absolutely.
Everyone, I just want to say that this was one of the best readings I've been to in a long time. For such a long play to be so snappy and done so quick and succinctly, but with such passion, my hat's off to all of you. It's tremendous working with you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Likewise.
Absolutely.
I thought it was a brilliant first reading, so we'll start rehearsals on Monday.
Yeah, guys, this was our table.
Take care. Have a great night, everyone.
Can't do Thursdays, but every other day is good for me.
By next week, everyone. Good job.
Be well, everybody. Take care.
Right, bye-bye, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Tomorrow I'll be seeing a whole bunch of
you tomorrow, I'm sure.
Bye, guys. Cheers.
Goodbye.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Stephen.
Oh, there is Angus. Angus?
Yes. Hi, Stephen.
Hi, are you okay? We missed you.
Yeah, I think I fell asleep, I think.
Ah, okay. You mean we were that boring?
No, I was following it, and the next thing I knew, you were saying it was all over. It's been a long day.
Yes, yeah. And it is a very long play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, well, we're glad to see you in one piece and still with us.
Thanks again.
Okay, We'll see you tomorrow for another.
Yeah, indeed. Yes.
An even longer play.
That's correct.
Different.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen who are still with us, goodbye.
Good night.
Adieu.
Nobody killed the thing. Angus, it's just us chickens.
How are you doing?
Can I ask you a quick question? Two quick.
Yeah, sure.
One, are you okay?
Yeah, sure.
And that's not unusual to fall asleep, or were you?
It's been a long day.
Okay, because I stretched out on my couch during some of the long segments, and I could feel it.
Yeah, no, it's
said that,
been.
I was like,
I've not been sleeping well for the last few days, so.
All right. So
Yeah.
not a health thing. You just...
No.
All right. The other.
I've had my first jab.
Your first what? Oh,
I've had my first injection.
Good. When was that?
Oh, about a week ago.
Yeah, I had mine 2 weeks ago. I got my second coming up 2 weeks from Tuesday, and then I'm going to go out and kiss everybody.
Yeah. Well, we've got to wait for 12 weeks because they've slowed the interval down in the UK.
Which shot? Do you know which vaccine you got?
I had the Pfizer.
Okay.
And of course, if we keep pissing the EU off, we may not get a second Pfizer.
Do you have your, at least in this country, when you have your first shot, they make the second appointment. They put the vial aside for you, and I've already been. The place I'm going has already called me twice to confirm that we're all set.
Because they keep changing the rules over here, and they're even talking about mixing jabs.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Try to get Pfizer.
Yeah.
Are you getting it done at a physician's office, or?
A bunch of local physicians all got together and did a central health place.
Okay. Well, if it's a bunch of physicians, maybe it'll be organized, and you can
hopefully
stick your head in. Because from what I'm hearing from my physician friends, is try to stick to the routine.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
Get Pfizer first, get Pfizer second, and
That's right.
You're not doing 3 weeks?
They've moved the interval to 12 weeks.
I hope that's okay.
Well, they're trying to get as many people with the first jab as possible.
I have heard that Pfizer on the first jab gives you a good 70%.
Yeah, it should be okay.
Oh, one more thing. You probably know this, but everybody's warning me the second jab is the one that gives you all the symptoms.
Yeah. Well, there was nothing much with the first one. My wife couldn't move her arm for a day and a half after the first jab.
Couldn't move it?
Yeah, it hurt so much.
Wow. No, I had an arm for 2 or 3 days, but but the second one is the one that can give you fever and muscle ache like you have a flu for 2 days.
Okay. Well, I can live with that.
And it's better than COVID.
Oh, you better believe it. Yeah.
I was just talking to a guy who's like me. He's a singing psychologist, and he got COVID, and his voice is just coming back, and he's like, just last I heard, people who got COVID sometimes had eternal lung damage and couldn't breathe the same way. He says so far he's okay.
Yeah, the long COVID is a little bit worrying.
Fuck. When are you getting your second shot?
Well, as I say, it was last week, so they're talking about 12 weeks from now. There's no time set. Then with the battles with the EU, God knows when they're going to get the next batch of Pfizer.
I heard a little bit about that in the car, but I didn't hear any details.
Well, the EU's got upset that they were slow about booking samples of the virus. The Pfizer is all made in Europe. There are no Pfizer plants in the UK. We've got the AstraZeneca, and there's another one that they've got.
Yeah.
And Pfizer has been told that the AstraZeneca people are not going to be able to deliver 2 or 3 million doses because their plant in Belgium is having problems. Because with all the plants, it's taken a bit of time to work them up. That happened in Britain as well, but Britain put about 2.5 billion into the AstraZeneca plants and got them established and got them sorted out. So AstraZeneca said, yeah, sorry, EU, Britain gave us all the money and they've got the first call because they booked it, 2-3 months before you did. And then the EU got all huffy and has been threatening to ban exports of the Pfizer virus to the UK.
Fuck. Listen, I really would love to talk about this and hear more, but I have a 5 o'clock meeting I have to go prepare for. So are you around tomorrow? Would you like to chat a little bit? I don't mean to be imposing, but...
No, I'm not doing... I mean, apart from the Bartholomew Fair thing, I'm around tomorrow.
No, I was thinking actually Monday, not tomorrow, because I'm in that reading too.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I should be around Monday. No problem.
What's the best way to reach you? Emails?
Email... email's good. Send me an email blast.
Do you tend to check them more than once a day?
I do, because they come into my cell phone.
Okay. Then let me know. I'd love to chat Monday if you have some time.
Sure.
I've been meaning to suggest that anyway. And if you're busy or if it's too much Zoom time,
I sit looking out the window watching the parrots. That's about it.
The parrots?
Yeah, London has this part of London, Southeast London has years ago, people used to get the African green ringneck parakeets, and they would escape. And they've now become a pest, and there's flocks of these damn things flying around, and they stay all year. They've managed to work out how to survive the English winter. So we've got great flocks of these things. They make the most awful noise and they scare the local birds.
Jesus.